Alright, I'm here. I'm here and waiting for people to comment with me. Ay, ay, ay. Hold on. I have to check something. Hello. Yeah, politics. But first I have to at least once try to fight that, you know. I think it's my duty to try to fight at least once. That fight in Color Obscure. And if it won't work out once or twice max, then I'll, you know. You know me, right? You understand how I operate. Hold on. Yeah, that's right. Although, wait, did Turkey shut down Russian jets? Because just shooting down drones is different than shooting down jets. That's like a totally different. If anybody shot down Russian jets now, that would have been a pretty big deal. That would be a pretty big deal, I think. Oh damn. We'll have to look into it. Hold on. Interesting. Hello. Hello, Maya Mayor. Somebody should gift you a sub. Oh, have I taken my hormones? I don't know. I guess I'll just take them twice then. Whatever. Taking twice as much hormones never hurt anybody, I think. I don't think it's harmful to take just a bunch of more. It just makes me this much more of an extremist, I suppose. Because yes, trans people are extremists. If they're extremists in the US, then definitely... Yeah. That's why I said that somebody should gift you. If trans people are extremists in the US, then they definitely are extremists in Poland. Mael? Wait, I think I've beaten that fight. Memory serves. Have I? Oh yeah, I have. There we go.
Watch out.
And yeah.
I can do it.
Hello, Greater Ain't. How are you? How are you feeling right now? We're gonna do politics, I swear. I just have to, you know. It's my duty to try at least a few times with the fights, you know? My duty.
Watch out, my Al.
I woke up from a nap as well.
Feel the embrace of fire. A storm is coming.
Let's start.
I'll do it.
Ready to parry.
I think Fido heard something, or...
Okay. Finesse and grace.
I got up and record while practicing piano. Oh. You play piano?
Careful, my Al.
Okay.
The elements dance.
Aw,
My turn.
it's really nice. I do like the idea of playing on a keyboard. Well, it all works out good because you have the ability to practice the piano now.
I've got this.
Careful, Verso.
Yeah, happy birthday. Oh my gosh.
Not looking good. Not looking good. This will hurt. Okay.
Alright.
Careful, my Al.
Fido's agitated. Fido.
Ready to carry.
Danger. I'll do it.
Fido.
I'll manage. It's better.
Merci. Lune, watch out. It's time to hit big.
I won't waste this.
Please don't waste this.
This will hurt.
That was so weak. Oh, you should eat something. When do you have to take your medicine?
Let's keep going. Brace yourselves. Danger.
Harry!
Oh my god. I think I'm dead. I will die from the fire damage. On my turn.
On me.
Or I'll die from this. Alright, as I said before, I guess I'm just gonna say no and let's get into the politics now. I promised you some politics. Let's do this real quick before because there's been this rumor about Destiny being demonetized. I guess I'll watch it through Queeman's eyes.
That just doesn't even make any sense. Stand around Destiny and scream homophobic remarks. Oh my god. Oh my god. I can't believe what I'm watching. Oh dude, I'm in pain. Like, you're doing this event without like major security. You will not find a source that does like a breakdown of the evidence that says otherwise. It's just not true. She just profiled this guy like crazy. So, it appears.
Oh, Lucy, you know what was cool about being in the hospital? I got to meet a class of student nurses and an instructor. I convinced them all to play cards with me. Nice. Should have convinced them all to watch my stream. LucyHaza.org/live. I do wushu. Not that. Not that. You should have convinced them to watch the stream of an extremist.
The Destiny has been demonetized on YouTube. Now,
I should start introducing myself as the biggest extremist Polish streamer. And people will just know what I mean.
I've got 100% confirmation of that. But he did go live on his channel earlier. So there are 3 possible reasons this can happen. You can either set your channel to be for kids, which has obviously not happened. You can...
Didn't YouTube move away from the for kids YouTube or whatever?
Get a strike that has made it so your memberships will lapse or something. But Destiny was live today, so that didn't happen.
Also, you can go live when your channel is demonetized, just so you know. You can stream when your channel is demonetized.
And it can be because you've been demonetized. Those are the reasons that this can be. Those are the 3 reasons this can happen. So it does seem Destiny's been demonetized. Does seem Destiny's been demonetized, okay? So, Destiny is a complete, disgusting, deadbeat, perverted, felching, violent, spastic, meth addicted,
Jesus.
deranged fucking loser.
Where
who
did
is
the whole meth thing come from? I have no idea. I've not heard about this before. But whatever. Who cares?
Truly, absolute fucking filth. And every aspect of how he's handling the situation disgusts me, drives me insane. It disgusts me that
Hello, Socialix. I did my hot dogs. Added salt to the recipe and pepper in addition to salt, onions, paprika, turmeric, and oregano. Delicious. Nice. Sounds like a good time. What happened that Destiny has gained so much attention lately? A lot of things.
I used to, think this guy had any fucking sense at all. Disappoints me with how unintelligent, how much missed opportunity he leaves out there. Truly some of the most reprobate behavior. However, if Destiny was going to get demonetized, it should have been for actual violent threats. It should have been for doxing. It should have been for weaponizing his off-platform community to break the YouTube TOS, break the YouTube community TOS, which is absolutely laid out as a provision in the TOS. If it was going to have happened, it should have been for that. It did not happen for that. It's happened because Destiny has said things that fucking conservatives spout off all the time. There's infinitely worse shit being said on YouTube all the fucking time than what he's been saying over the last few days.
Hello.
It's purely because of a fucking moral outrage, because of a fear of government crackdowns, because companies are getting called to testify in front of Congress.
Just put the principle.
Oh yeah, that's right. Companies right now don't like it when people say bad things about Charlie Kirk.
Pulls in the bag, dude. No one cares.
Yep. So obviously, I totally think this is completely fucking wrong. This obviously should not be happening. From what I can see, this should not be fucking happening, unless there is something I'm not seeing here, some determination that's been made. And I honestly wouldn't be surprised if it's due to direct influence from the admin. I honestly would not be surprised. So you should not be okay with this.
Press like on this
You
stream.
should not be okay with this at all. It is absolutely a first they came for moment. You should not just sign off on this because you fucking hate the guy.
I never
And
said
say
I
this
even
to someone with
hated the
more reason
guy.
to fucking hate this guy than any of you, okay? To be totally honest. Maybe not any of you. There's probably a couple of people here that also have personal interactions with him. But them
Why
almost
does Queeman hate Destiny so much? Whatever. I don't think I want to know.
any of you, I have more reason to fucking hate this guy.
Why? Why do you have any reasons to hate this guy? I don't get it.
But this is just totally
What are
fucking
your personal reasons to hate the guy? Exactly.
wrong. From everything I can see. Now, we have got a lot of Destiny stuff to sort of look at here. We can laugh at. We can still poke fun at him as much as...
Why would you have any reasons to hate him in particular?
I do think this is completely fucked. Okay, Stylo. So yeah, I did say earlier, this is literally nightmare outcome. Actual fucking nightmare outcome. We're forced to defend Destiny. Seriously, fuck Trump, man. I actually fucking hate Trump so much. So let's read some of these logs. So this is really embarrassing. This is really embarrassing for Destiny, okay? This guy's
Is he
like
gonna read them out loud or do I have to do it?
crying about... This guy's saying basically, he's got no allies because liberals are all spineless, okay? Not because he's like a sex pest abuser who constantly spazzes out in public and embarrasses himself in every possible way he possibly can. but because it's just liberals are spineless, okay? You are literally constantly fighting on every single front, every day as a liberal, and there isn't a single person with a spine out here that can do any of it, besides me, apparently. It's just too tiring at this point.
Wait, where is it? I don't see it. It's not even on screen, I think. Oh no, it's here. Aristotle, you're literally constantly fighting.
There literally aren't any Lamau. They're all spineless pussies. The only other community where the bridge... So, here we go. This is when he actually shows his real feelings, right? So, starts off talking about how liberals are just weak. And then it goes into, oh, I don't have any bridges. So, it's not about liberals being weak. It's about liberals not wanting to be your friend because you're like a sex pest abuser. Because you're like a sex pest abuser who admitted to having CP. The only other community where the bridge with torches it because Ethan's a spineless hack fuck as well. Just such a pathetic state of affairs of everyone over here. Adam Mockler is the only exception to what I said. Everyone else are fucking losers. See you in all the camps. See you all in the camps.
Wow.
It's just like so embarrassing, man. It's so embarrassing. Like, even in moments like this, he makes it so hard to support him in any way because he is just a deeply, deeply interpersonally, like, just as an individual, dislikable pussy about everything. Like, he fucking sucks. Yeah, whinging about internet drama again. No, we've got plenty of Destiny content to look at from what I can see. I don't know how well any of this went, so we might not have a lot. But, yeah, we got some clips from Unfuck America and some footage to look at.
Tell us how many dicks you suck, Destiny! Alright, how many miles of fuck have you got for Destiny?
Not half as many as you, sir.
Oh, your mic's not on! Hey! Tell us how many dicks you suck, Destiny!
So they are just, like, berating him.
Mm-hmm.
They're just, like, fucking berating him.
Mm-hmm.
Some NSC content from the event as well.
Right? I just got banned because of bad empanada, so...
Is that what?
Yeah, unquestionably.
That's insane.
Yeah, he made like a lot of psychotic posts about me. In fairness, I made a banger joke about him.
What did you say?
So, the loaner box said that if Hassan became the president, he would be immediately usurped by bad empanada, and bad empanada would throw him in a gulag. And I said, but bad empanada would eventually get killed by his wife. She's 12, by the way. In brackets, which is funny.
Well, it's not funny, because your guy is Destiny.
What?
You're a business, like, all the replies to that were, aren't you business partners with Destiny? Aren't you business partners
I mean, that is true.
with Destiny? Why are you calling Bad Empanada a pedophile when you're business partners with Destiny? That was all the replies. That's what, like, she doesn't see it. She doesn't.
Just so he has some like child charge.
No, he just looks like it.
I thought he fled. There's some rumor about
I don't know.
fleeing the
He
country.
did flee Australia. I don't know why.
I thought it was for a child-related thing, but
I have no idea. Can't say
Frankly-
that. It looks like somebody would though.
jeez,
What?
come on. What? Look,
It is what
have
it
you seen
is.
the meme where it's like you say a horrible thing and
Wait,
it bounces
speaking
off?
of-
It
did
bounces
you-
off into someone who actually looks like Bad Empanada but doesn't diddle kids.
What?
Like people
There's
look
one
like
guy
him
in my
aren't
chat
bad
being
people.
like,
yeah, and they feel bad.
"Why you still
about
like
Yeah,
trimming
it's
my
just, like,
beard,
so crazy.
man?"
Like, I thought Erudite. Like, it's just so crazy. She will cry about snark behavior endlessly, and then she's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna baselessly call people pedophiles. I'm just gonna go around and baselessly call people pedophiles." It's like so despicable. She is subhuman. She is true. She is disgusting. She is so disgusting.
Leave me alone. Okay.
And unwashed. Yeah, and she's unwashed all the time. Yeah, we've got some unfuck American
Show
stories
this,
here.
The left being
Let's see if we can find. Is it just her and Soy Pill for most of it? Do we get?
yeah, I get
Do we
but
get little Steve
speaking out for them,
at all?
saying
Has to do and they have to be following him.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
partially.
here we go. Here we go. No one gives a fuck about Erudite. I'm sure there's gems in there, but I'm not gonna watch the whole thing. So, someone will have to get out of timestamps at some point.
1,000 people. I'm glad to be out here, you know, popping with the viewers, man.
There you go. There you go.
I don't think he has any social media. You're pretty much off social media.
You don't do
We're gonna be done in a second.
mainly Facebook. Yeah.
That's some boomer shit.
Different marketplace. That's what you want to say.
Oh.
I like to talk to adults. You know.
The old ones though. They're hotter that way. Alright.
What a dick sucker, bro.
I think that in the United States, even where we're at right now, I don't think anybody should be telling anybody we're dying because of political disagreements. I think that would require us to be for long, but I don't think where I think one party right now
He does not draw a huge crowd.
is very invested in pushing us like further down that road to where some kind of political civil war becomes inevitable.
They're really calling Dude, Destiny. They call it Destiny of fascists. That's
Without
crazy.
it being, at the very least, like, direct confrontation with
Learn how to debate better than you suck dick!
Jesus Christ. I mean, you reap what you saw, I guess. You reap what you saw.
So I'm gonna be real. I've seen this guy sucking dick. He definitely debates better than he sucks dick. I gotta be real. Like just doesn't even make any sense. That just doesn't even make any sense.
You know what? I'm not gonna go out of my way to search out Destiny sucking dick. But Lucy Kyla is an expert. She just is. That is true.
Learn how to debate better than you suck dick!
Well, that just does not make any sense.
I'm sorry. Anyways, are you a religious man by any chance? Very atheist. Okay.
Even if you were left.
Personally, I do believe you reap what you sow, unless you repent to God and with Jesus Christ, Lord and Savior.
Destiny will reap what he sowed!
But
Dicks! Miles of dicks!
from what I'm seeing,
Why are they so obsessed with the dick thing?
I mean, is it just like stand around Destiny and scream homophobic remarks? So based. So fucking based, dude. So fucking awesome.
on left and right, if people keep dying like
Women.
You missed a pivotal moment.
The guy that would slid into my into my chat over here. Good old days when women used to come here and try to turn me into a mockery for Chat Logic to react to.
1843. Okay. We missed a pivotal moment.
Back.
Oh, your mic's not on!
Whoa.
Ooh, these guys are laughing. Hey, I noticed you guys like enjoying our heckler. Could I ask you guys about it?
I can't believe this bitch has autism, man. This bitch actually has autism. She actually it can't just be the kick in the head. It can't just be the horse.
What? What horse? What the what?
This bitch has autism, man. This is fucking crazy. Like, what the fuck, man? You're actually excuse me? Why did you laugh at our heckler? Excuse me?
What horse? Am I missing something?
What have you, I noticed you were laughing at the heckler who just called my business partner a cocksucking why did you do that? Why did you laugh at him?
I think it's pretty good. I think it's kind of funny. It's just interesting to watch for sure.
It's funny.
How are you? I thought that was what if his mom.
Oh no, it's just interesting to watch the whole thing go.
No, what's funny about the guy calling him the S-word?
I don't think that's funny.
Oh.
No, I'm saying like it's crazy to watch.
Okay, gotcha. So not funny.
No,
Okay,
that's not,
gotcha.
you shouldn't say that. You should not say that. It's crazy to watch.
Yeah, it is pretty crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Think it was funny though?
I watched the video when she approached them. I can't watch it. Someone please tell me when it's over.
Thank you for the tier 1. Lucy is anti-meth but pro-giggle.
I bet you were falling behind Jubilee.
I don't believe you for some reason. Yeah, you're pulling like a weird Wojak face right now. So what? A Wojak.
Dude. Oh my god. Oh my god. I can't believe what I'm watching. Oh, dude, I'm in pain.
That is a bit embarrassing, I will admit.
Oh, dude, this is so bad. Holy fuck. Oh my god. I noticed you're pulling a Wojak face. Oh, a what now? Dude, this is literally, I'm trying to find.
Whoa.
There's like a video. Where is it? One sec.
Mm-hmm.
Where did I put this video?
The branded content for
It's
the
like,
night.
dude, I can't see it. I just can't see it. It's the video of that guy going up to those like women. I think it's a Baked Alaska stream.
Looks comfy. I try to be. I've been feeling more comfy ever since I started taking my medication. I've been feeling more chilled out. Also, I'm gathering I need to go back to do more reporting in Ukraine, so support me if you'd like me to do more. But yes, I've been feeling more chill.
Where he's like, it's like based and red pilled. It's like based and red pilled. And I'm like, what?
What? Oh my goodness. This is Destiny doing serious politics, by the way. I don't even know what to say. This is hard to watch. I will admit that's true.
I can't see it though. I can't see it.
Destiny connecting people across the political spectrum in their bafflement.
Fuck, man. I've definitely shown this before. Some people know what this is. I'm gonna sit here and look for the video the whole time. I'm just gonna look for it till I find it, because Silo's saying, no one knows what that is. So I'm just sit here and look for it. I don't think I'm gonna find it though. Is it this one?
What illegal drugs you do?
That's not one. That's one of the Skyrim NPC things. I can't see it. It's over. It's over. Can I Google it?
What is Wick here now?
Wait.
Why are we watching Wick?
Based in red pilled? It's based in red pilled. Do you know what that means?
This one.
Oh, it's like, that's dope.
Okay.
Yeah.
There we go. Found it. There we go.
Red pilled. Do you know what that means?
This one.
Oh, it's like, that's dope.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
There we go. Found it. There we go. There we go. It's that one. It's that one. I found the clip.
Jack face?
Low jump?
Yeah.
Hello mate, I was watching a bit of Top Gear on BBC when this bloody bloke came in and torched my britches. True. I'll have it to upend.
I don't understand what you're saying. That's not what's happening.
That was really worth it. That would have been worth it if it took 2 seconds. It did not. It's not worth it 5 minutes.
Yeah. Does this guy know that girl? Or like, does he know this person?
Who? That guy heckling?
Does he know the other people?
He's walking around with his wife, filming him, trying to rage bait all the liberals to like be mean to him. And then we're like, "Do you want to talk to us?" And he's like, "No," and then like runs away.
So this guy over here,
Oh my god. Oh my god.
He's just like hoping somebody hits him.
why not at least leave your dog at home?
What? Is this Destiny doing serious politics? Him hoping that somebody will hit him? Look, somebody came with their dog.
I think that's
Dude, move the camera. Dude, holy fuck.
He's also been
Eric,
walking
move the
around
camera.
saying, half these people don't even
Dude,
go
change
here.
the
And I was
view.
like, do you go here?
Holy
And he was
fuck.
like, whatever, man.
Dude. Whose mom is this? For real, dude. For real.
This is what he was waiting for. This is his
Holy
moment.
shit.
Jesus, calm down, guy.
Oh my god.
You fucking fascist loser!
I want to know how much you get on these actually. Let's go. You want to talk to this guy right now? Take this mic. Take the mic. Come on over here. Come on, dude.
Oh my god.
No, you want to say anything? You quiet now?
Now I run your
Wait, is it not a college kid that's heckling? Is it some fucking adult? Is it some like
Shit, bro. You can't even run your fucking diet. Get the fuck out of here.
it's the guy in red? Oh yeah, it is, dude. What a queer. Okay, that sucks. So he's just some fat gay old fucking boomer, just like being a total schizo, dude. I thought it was a college student screaming the F slur.
I'm here to make fun of retards like you. Oh my god. I'm for you right now. You're on YouTube channel tonight. What?
You let people fuck your wife.
I'm not even married right now. What are you talking about?
They're all being skipped out.
Yeah, why are you talking to the audience? I'm right here, bro.
She left him because he sucked dick. That's why
Why
she
would
left
she
him.
leave? If
She left him
why
because she saw the video
How often do you think about
of
other
you
guys sucking
sucking
dick?
dick.
About other guys sucking dick, be honest.
She saw a video of
Why do people seek out the videos of Destiny engaged in oral sex? It's just, oh god.
All slurs, obviously.
Why would you do that? Why would you ever?
All slurs are terrible. I disavow all slurs.
Do you guys have stuff like this on campus a lot? Or is this like pretty novel? Okay.
So Destiny's just getting called slurs in public for fun now? Like, I guess so.
Really great question. I mean, I believe, like, broadly speaking, and the founding of this country is a liberal democracy. I think that it has to have some capacity for people that have certain.
They were laughing at them calling him the F word, so I was like, what's funny? And they're like, everything.
Thank you for the $5. I used to think it was hello governor, not hello governor. Hello governor, not hello governor. Hello governor. True. I'm doing my best to do the proper impression. Proper accent, mates.
What do you guys study? Wait, is that that's a degree here?
Yeah.
Oh, crazy. I was wondering, I was like, are you guys in like a sports team together? Like, what's the cabal going on here? Construction management. How long is that degree?
4 years.
Really?
5.
Holy shit. It's
Pretty competitive.
What do you mean, holy shit? That's what most degrees are. 4 years. Why the holy shit reaction? Basically, all degrees take that long. What?
Yeah. Is it like an engineering?
What? What is she doing? That's just your regular degree. What?
Degree then? Like, is it similar?
No, it kind of strays away from it. It's more.
Is this one of those cases where everyone in this video sucks? Yes. That is the unfortunate reality. It's inside. Also, it's been so long since I've seen you here. I feel like I'm seeing you for the first time. If I'm not seeing you for the first time, then I apologize. But if I'm not seeing you for the first time, then you've definitely not been here for at least 5 years. Welcome to the stream. Ah, I see. Exams are important. Well, thank you for being here now and helping me to grow from micro streamer status to small streamer status.
Management business versus.
Would it be like a business degree then? Like, what would be your final degree? Bachelor of construction. Like, it's not like an arts or science or something.
It's like industrial science, like umbrella.
Interesting. Crazy. You guys know any of the content creators here? Huh?
I know Destiny.
Gotcha. Huh?
Are you a content creator?
Yeah.
Oh, hell yeah.
You're live in front of like 1,000 people.
1,000?
Yeah. Say hi.
What's up, 1,000 people? I'm glad to be out here, popping with the viewers, man.
There you go. There you go.
Jesus Christ. What university is this? I honestly don't know. And nobody said. Hey Lucy, I've been seeing posts every day now and then about a coming conflict in Moldova regarding Ukraine. Do you know anything about that? No. We might check it out.
Yeah, these college kids don't give a fuck. You're pretty much awesome.
Yeah, you don't do that. Yeah, no, it's
We'll see.
mainly Facebook, yeah.
That's some boomer shit.
Facebook Marketplace, that's what you want to say.
Oh.
I like to talk to adults.
The old ones, though. They're hotter that way. Right.
What?
I think that in the United States, even where we're at right now, I don't think anybody should be.
I don't know. Not so area that has this weird hello fellow kids vibe. I swear to God. Oh, how long is your degree? 4 years. Wow. Oh, holy crap. Really? 4 years degree? Dope. Like, okay.
Dying because of political disagreements. I think that would require us to be prolonged.
Like, speak normally.
One party right now is very invested in pushing us like further down that road to where some kind of political civil war
So forced.
comes inevitable. But again, like part of the goal of the American system is supposed to be able to create room for disagreement without there being, at the very least, like direct confrontation.
Learn how to debate better than you suck dick.
We've seen this part before already.
Let's give it up.
Right. If people keep dying like this, this entire thing is going to split apart. It's already splitting as it is.
Well, so if anyone has like good timestamps, tell them.
This is two different countries pretending to be one.
I'm
Do you
mad
believe
about
that
this
deal?
right. Trump arrested
I mean, we're still a single
Then after
country.
he
And
lost
like,
the
I think,
presidency,
I mean,
Biden
always
did
on
that
here is
for
because I
4
think we can
years.
do better.
And
Like,
now
There's countries that hate each other, man.
Can you guys hear?
yeah, we are, but like, at some point there has
Okay,
to be a
sometimes
decision
I was
made
not gonna
on
lie.
both ends
Hit
to
hecklers.
kind of work
Can you tell
this
D-Man to
out.
fix his audio?
I would argue, and like we can go through this, like I would argue that the left has tried to do that.
Can I fix the Chinese screen?
Wanted to get president for all Americans.
Where's-
Tried at several
where's-
points to
Take us on. The Unfuck America tour. Wow.
bring the temperature down on violent rhetoric in this country. There was a reason why his presidency was potentially more boring in terms of his social media presence than Donald Trump's.
Because he was sleeping!
I think Obama did the exact same thing, where he was trying to bring America together.
What's the problem on his stream?
When Henry Gates and the police officer had a conversation, Mr. Gates
Laptop's over here.
Obama invited both of them to the White House to have a beer, to have a chat. But the Republican side just seems to be like very invested in constantly, invoking more and more violence and refusing to take responsibility for any rhetoric they have. And I think that's pushing us constantly more towards one direction now. Civility has to be a choice made by both sides. You can't just one side to make it.
Yeah, the audio stuff is just awful.
He's basically just saying all the things that he's been saying on that video that we've been watching.
Are pushing us in one direction. From what I can tell, it's pushing us in a different direction entirely. Obama was an exception. He actually did something for
Black guy with a speech impediment, very cool.
That's it. I got one more question.
Yeah, sure.
Can I pray for you?
You can do whatever you want, yeah. Insofar as like justifying what Israel's doing now, I think that Israel has like a just cause for war against Hamas. I think that their behavior in war seems to be increasingly like harder to defend. I think that the issue is that after Trump was elected, Bibi basically has no more leash holding him back on anything. I think that Israel is a country who has a foreign policy that's constrained by their kind of domestic relationship, with their own people, and then sometimes with their
I've
international.
organised campus events with more attendance than this. I'm going to give them a little bit of grace and say people might have been a little bit worried about showing up to this. I don't know if that's the reason why it looks so bare, but I wouldn't be shocked.
Yeah, it looks like he has not attracted a crowd.
It into it.
Relations with other countries. I think that if Netanyahu could, I think he would push every Palestinian out of the Gaza Strip. That's what he's trying to do. Yeah, but I think before, I don't think it was possible, but now it might be. I mean, I wouldn't support them doing that. I think it's bad. I think there's a lot of people that have died there now. I don't understand why they have to go in now to get rid of Hamas. I don't know what they've been doing for the last year and a half. It's not like I, uncritically support every action that Israel does. It just feels like a lot of the rhetoric.
Yeah, exactly. Flights from India are incredibly expensive. Okay.
War after the African the tax rebuttal is ridiculous.
I just have a hard time being able to be okay with like how big of a lobby APEC is and how they fund both sides of our politicians that then vote on bills to give them money and give them missiles.
Wait, what is this? What did I just see this shit? Ken Klippenstein saying that 2 national security officials have told him that they are declaring trans people violent extremists.
We're gonna be talking about this.
Dude. I mean, I guess we'll see where it goes. It's 2 sources talking to Klippenstein, so it does match up with the public. Obviously, he's just laying out like the public statements that have built the groundwork for this. We've heard most of these. We've seen most of this.
Them bombing like
I'm not gonna watch this because we're gonna be discussing the topic ourselves. I guess I'm an extremist now because I'm trans.
Qatar and Yemen and Iran, it's like, how can we say that they are our allies when they are making enemies all over the Middle East and then making enemies for ourselves?
Yeah! I mean, without getting into like a deeper...
Can I even go to the US anymore if I'm such an extremist?
Middle Eastern politics, like technically I don't know if they're making more enemies for us or if they're just fighting enemies that I think that us and the kind of like the Israel-Saudi axis already kind of agrees are enemies.
That's in the next stream. That's in the shorter one, not the 3-hour run, right, Kathy?
So press like on the stream. Notice that we only have like two likes. $5.
I mean, the issue that you run into is that the current president.
Since site has donated $5, they said, last time I was here you were playing Signalis. Have you finished it? No. We're gonna continue playing it. I have not finished playing it. I have to start finishing games. I feel called out, but thank you for the $5. We will be finishing Signalis. I've been playing... today I have been playing more Triangle Strategy. We have to finish that one as well.
We have no vision for the Middle East. Like he doesn't understand really anything of anything. But like
we can agree that he's a shill. Like
that he's Trump is a shill.
He's like, I think the youth on either side, we are waking up to the fact that we are being purposely divided.
Yeah!
I'm tired of speaking this 2-party term. I'm not a Democrat. Yeah. But when is it going to be enough to wake up and realize that we are on the wrong side of history?
Yeah!
I mean, the wrong side of history insofar as what?
As so far as
against genocide.
against genocide, against the continuation of the war crimes that are happening. 112 countries in the UN have recognized Palestine as a state, and yet nothing is happening to change what is happening. Sure, I mean, like, there should be a solution, you know, for the problems that exist between these two people, right, between the Palestinians and these Israelis. I think the issue is, right now, the U.S. has no leadership to present that vision. Israel has no desire to present that vision. Not only the Palestinians have a desire right now to present that vision. Everybody's just kind of stuck in this, like, death loop of being perpetually incentivized to keep fighting the other side, and until somebody comes forward with some kind of pressure to say, like, hey, you guys have to figure this shit out, or else it's just going to continue forever. Yeah, I just don't see there being a resolution, I guess, to the problem.
All right, I just had one more question.
Yeah.
I meant to be fair. Would you want to visit America? I mean, there are people that I'd like to visit in America. You know? I like to be able to visit people in America. Definitely. What if I decided to visit family one day? For some reason. And now I cannot because I'm an extremist? That's cool. Maya Mayor says, I found a link to the Heritage Foundation wanting the FBI to go further with criminalizing trans activism in case you need it. Yes, please link it. I'm gonna be talking about this subject at length. Because it's insane. Continuation of a witch hunt against trans people, of course.
When I look into what Israel just did, signing the $40 million contract with YouTube, and with the overall supremacy that the ADL has over all of our data and media, and with Palantir, like, how is it that whenever we are asked questions about the control that Israel has, we are automatically labeled as an anti-Semite?
No, they're.
Well, I mean, partially, everybody likes to label everybody as a racist, a bigot, everything else. So one, it's a convenient attack. Israel's not unique there. I think the second is there probably is some anti-Semitism with people that are involved in it. I feel like the big issue is it's very hard for people to just have like a clear and concise criticism of maybe, I don't even know, like stuff related to AIPAC or stuff related to the support of Israel. It seems like it has to become unhinged as quickly as possible. So we might have people like Anna and Jenkins on Thursday.
What does unhinged mean? What does that mean that it becomes unhinged?
Criticism of Israel, you know, now they're talking about how, well, maybe Israel was behind, or at least they knew about 9/11 and the dancing Israelis. That is true. Yeah. That is true. I don't think there's any good evidence for that. I'm not trying to sound like that, but if we're in such a broken
Hello, Conrad.
system, wouldn't it be the people that are on
I'm a violent extremist, so be careful. It's just a joke, just in case YouTube sees this. But yeah, I'm a trans person, and I guess the US government wants to declare trans people extremist.
fringe?
Okay, well, Kathy, can you send me those, DM me those timestamps, because I can't keep scrolling up chat to try and find them. Starting at 10:40.
Hi guys.
Biden didn't.
Embarrassing.
You're a fucking loser, Destiny, and you know it.
Hey guys, I'm with Antifa. Just
You're a
mental
fucking
health.
loser,
We're
and
gonna
you know
know I
it.
got here because all these try to do is rage
Fuck
over
ass
and the best we
fucking
can do is
loser.
ignore him, because for the rest of the crowd, try to be respectful of the person's talking. You might not agree with them, but
Dude,
it's okay. Try to
she's
just
trying to
chill
ask
and
people to stop heckling. No! No! No!
You're a fucking loser, Destiny, and you know it.
Hey guys, I'm with
Jesus Christ.
Just
You're a
mental
fucking
health.
loser,
We're
and
gonna
you
know
know
I
it.
got here because all he's trying to do is rage
Fuck
over
ass
and the best we
fucking
can do is
loser.
ignore him, because for the rest of the crowd, try to be respectful of the person's talking. You might not agree with them, that's okay. Try to just chill and listen to happen because you want to keep the temperature calm and you want to keep everyone super safe. Sound good? If you'll make, we'll take him, but he won't like.
Suck your dick, Destiny, you fucking loser.
Yeah, let's talk about that more. This is going to be a little bit weird question. Hey, hold on.
This is going so well. This is going so well for Stephen Bonnell II.
There's no need for violence. If you try to incite violence right now, either of you in the green or in the red, we will just call security on you. No, we don't want violence on our side. That's not good. We need to stay calm.
The police is right over here.
Can somebody grab a police officer to dispel the fight that's happening?
Why is there no security here?
Perfect.
We went over there.
A fight broke out? A fight broke out during one of these events?
So my main concern with everything that's going on, my entire thought is, when is it going to be time for people to actually get out and protest?
Also, why is this recorded so badly? Why cannot Why can't I hear what they're saying? Are you covering the Jimmy Kimmel thing? I should cover the Jimmy Kimmel thing, yeah. I definitely should do that. There's a lot of things that I should be covering. I'm late to the party. I'm late to the party on a whole bunch of things. I'm definitely going to be talking about Antifa being designated a terrorist organization, because that's insane. There's a bunch of things that I'm kind of sort of late on that I should definitely be talking about.
Yeah, honestly, it's crazy that they've not got like security here, just like taking that guy away, saying kick his ass. Would you not? I feel like you wouldn't. Like, you're doing this event without like major security.
This is probably the most horrible time that we've had in this country, with the military getting deployed into blue cities, with people getting censored on TV, with violent rhetoric coming from our own president, with people like me being demonized.
Rio spilled today, yeah.
What is it going to take for...
And we're gonna talk about Poland a bit, I think. At least NATO airspace.
People to have mass marches like we did back in the civil rights era.
Why is no one heckling him about his sex crimes? Because conservatives don't care if you fucking sexually abuse women, they just care if you're gay.
That's true. But you were going to be talking about how Russia's doing its whole alternative history and treating it as real history. Did you know that Ribbentrop-Molotov, when the USSR invaded Poland in 1939, it was not actually an invasion, it was a military operation, as Russia describes it right now? A special military operation, you could even say. I'm not even joking. They do say, yeah, well, the USSR did not invade Poland in 1939. It was a military operation. Okay. Sounds very familiar.
I don't know, that's a good question. I think one of the issues is, if you're like, not to get too like wokey or whatever, but if you're a majority class person, like you're a white guy and you're like decently, middle class or more, it's not really affecting you that much now. And the idea of like sticking your neck out for anything when your like livelihood isn't directly threatened, I think it's hard for a lot of people to see the issues there. So I think that's one thing. For a lot of people, it's largely still a largely comfortable country to live in. Like erosion of civil liberties, especially if the edges are things that a lot of people care about immediately. That's the first thing. I think the second thing, and this is a really challenging conversation to have for a variety of reasons, is the social media environment we live in right now is unsustainable.
Yes, they do, lol. They're just scared to be called feminists. Then why did they vote for someone that has numerous credible allegations of sexual abuse that have been like borderline proven in court in a couple of instances?
Whoops.
So why is that the case? A guy that goes around just like bragging about it? Because they actually totally care about it, right?
Yeah, military operation is just basically invasion. When Russia says military operation, you can basically just translate it to invasion, I guess. Yeah, all of their invasions are military operations. Yeah, that's right. It seems that way, increasingly.
They actually totally do care. Also, why is it that, like, I'm pretty sure if you look into sort of like the groups that vote conservative, you can actually like kind of predict like abuse of women, sexual abuse, child abuse, child sexual abuse. Like that is pretty common with groups that vote conservative. Like you can do the breakdown there and predict that to be the case.
And I think that the Brave has, captured a lot of that very well. Sometimes in literal ways, like if Elon Musk literally buying X.
What the hell is happening in that event, and why is the audio so bad? Why do I have to be exposed to not being able to hear or understand anything that's being said?
Sometimes in very not literal ways, just like they utilize social media and like shamelessly tell lies and along with everybody on the same thing. And
what the hell is happening? And also, of course, as per usual, everybody is just clapping to anything that's happening because everybody is so impressionable.
Again, because you're also using sound on hinge, but like a lot of people, just because they don't have a critical engagement with the media, if you just glance at things, it kind of looks like, oh, like both sides are bad. The left is doing cancel culture, now the right is doing cancel culture, and the left had violent marches, and the right has violent marches. But like, if you actually take the time to dig into any of this stuff, it's a lot different. Like Joe Biden wasn't calling for, Christian Tucker, I don't know, whoever else to get deplatformed, or some kid that said the N-word to get deplatformed. That's not Joe Biden. But the president of the United States and the FCC guy now are openly bragging about getting people kicked off of news networks for things that they didn't even really say. So it's not the same. Or for when it comes to marches, like the BLM, riots and everything, these were decentralized. They happen all across the United States. The majority of them were peaceful. A lot of them were violent. There was a lot of violence, there was a lot of damage, it wasn't good. But like,
Shut up,
Obama,
neoliberal.
not Obama, Biden and Kamala came out and they said, like, don't riot, it's not good, we can't do this, it's not okay. Meanwhile, on the right,
Skip to 1916. Okay.
he's got a right to speak as much as anybody else. Don't hit him, don't attack him, don't scream at him, he's giving it to what he wants. All right, don't attack the dude. This is what he wants. This is what he's here for.
Get on the mic! Get on the mic, you little fucking bitch! Get on the mic! Get on the mic!
Oh, okay. So they've got this guy to get on the mic and stop heckling.
What?
How's he going to use his opportunity on the microphone? I wonder.
I don't know. He's gonna say something stupid. I'm predicting. I'm being a Nostradamus right now. He's gonna say something really stupid and drop the mic or something.
How is this fella gonna? What's he gonna use this opportunity on the microphone to say?
You suck dick. You suck dick and you never the fucking life. You're a fucking loser.
Oh wow, that was brilliant. That was great. Wow, amazing.
I mean, I don't agree with this is a demonstration of right-wing speech.
Great use of your time there.
I wouldn't go to. I don't agree with I'm just saying that, like, the left and the right do not approach like speech the same, right? The left tries to hold us accountable in the media, but like you will never find an equivalence to the Dominion lawsuit stuff on the Fox News side, where the entire news network is pushing the line for Donald Trump, saying that Dominion voting machines rigged the election. You'll never find a lie like that on the left. It's not the same.
Talking about accountability, I'll go back to the BLM quote-unquote peaceful protest, which when, and honestly, it was all.
Yeah, that is. I don't have the image, but yeah, that is the raped male leave. So that guy just got totally fucking. Like, I mean, he mugged himself, really. He like totally mugged himself. Like, you gotta stand there heckling like a fucking retard the entire time, and you get Preston's going on the mic and you've got nothing to say. Okay, dude.
But there's people that took advantage of the system who were tearing down the cities and were looting their own companies.
Yeah, there were like 10,000 plus arrests as a result of that, though.
I'm sure they called it peaceful.
No, there was one time where a guy said the protests here are, mostly peaceful, and there was the burning car behind him, and I think it's a Chiron on the bottom was like firing almost. It was a stupid thing.
I mean, freedom of speech.
For sure, right? But conservatives are taking that one thing and they try to pretend that every single Democrat that talked about it said that exact same thing.
Well, it's in the way the Democrats take the J6 as the one thing, only thing they can point really to that.
Yeah, but J6 was an attempted overthrow of the government that was directed by the President of the United States, who watched it happen and cheerled at it the entire time.
They were let in by the own people.
They broke in. The Proud Boys were the ones that broke in at all three locations.
We saw the cops let.
No, you did. I swear to God, you did. I promise you did it. If you want proof of this, go watch my debate with Owen Schroyer.
No, it was called peaceful over and over again. The protests were mostly peaceful. That's true. It is a true statement, a 100 incontrovertibly true statement to say the BLM protests were mostly peaceful. That is just true. That is correct. You will not find a source that does like a breakdown of the evidence that says otherwise. It's just not true. Like you will literally never find supporting evidence for that.
Because there were protests against state violence.
Yeah, 93 to 96% of all demonstrations had zero
violence.
There were mass-scale protests across the country. In a very small percentage of those protests, violence broke out. No, Death Pig, you're like so retarded. It's not I did this thing. It's like people have sex all across the country. Most of it's consensual. That's what it's like, Death Pig. Sometimes it's rape. Very small percentage is rape. That's what it's like, Death Pig. There's not one person doing it, is it, you fucking moron? No, Death Pig. This is like saying a very small percentage of sex is rape, so all sex is rape. That's what you're doing. That's what conservatives do. I would say most sex is probably consensual. A very small percentage is rape. Therefore, characterizing it all as rape would be fucking retarded. Yeah, riots are bad. No one's saying riots aren't bad. You see how low IQ you sound? Like, conservatives are this fucking dumb. They're actually this
Also, if you're talking about riots, you have to also take into consideration how riots break out. How riots break out, okay?
fucking dumb.
$5,000 on stage on who broke down every single barrier. It's Proud Boys. You can take that on stage.
I don't agree with what they did.
It's not about agreeing. I'm saying that the break-in on the Capitol was led by the Proud Boys, and then the people that flooded in were hardcore conservatives that wanted to circumvent the voting for the...
They were not justifying riots. CNN was not justifying riots.
Like, there might be some videos after...
Find me the clip, Deathpig. Send me the clip of CNN justifying riots.
Trying to, like, beat people around, but it's just like crowd control at that point. This is the first time in the entire history of the presidency, in the entire history of, like, an election, where the count has actually been delayed as a result of rioters. It's never happened before.
Oh, no, sorry, you mean Twitter users. Oh, sorry, Deathbait. Again, we're talking about Twitter users. Okay, sorry. I forget, of course. You're a conservative, or you're a conservative-leaning, slightly right-leaning, or centrist, which means that the only way that can possibly occur is if your entire political ideology is built off of the shit you see online. So I
Oh
should
my
just
God.
assume, really, that whenever you're talking about something, you're not actually talking about the topic at hand, but instead talking about tweets. I should just assume that about your broken fucking inept mind, shouldn't I? But I didn't. So that's my bad. That's my bad.
Oh my God.
Anyways, how would we come together?
We can't come together because you just did the thing, right? That's what I'm talking about.
I would say both sides are wrong.
No, yeah, I understand, but
Then who? You said they were all supporting riots. They were all justifying riots. We were talking about CNN. You're now saying CNN weren't doing that. You're not saying it was Twitter users. Okay, so it wasn't Twitter users. So who was it, Death Pig? So who was it?
Basics is like the clearest example of the president of the United States starting with a lie that the election would be rigged before anything.
Leftists in general, just the general leftists. Right-wingers rape kids. Right-wingers rape their kids, their own kids. Right-wingers...
All of the Avengers are special military operations. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna warm up some pizza so that we can continue the political stream. We'll be right back. Whoa. Chodź, Fajdusiu. No chodź, Fajda. Chodź, Fajda. Oh my God. I'm back. You can hear me talking to my dog, but you know what? Dogs deserve to be babied, in my opinion. My humble opinion, dogs deserve to be babied.
In general, rape their own kids and beat their wives. Like, we can just do, like, it's just the most retarded game ever, isn't it?
With what they did.
It's not about agreeing with it, it's about accountability. You don't believe that it was the president that cheerleaded it, caused it, watched it happen, didn't do anything, and then pardoned everybody afterwards.
He did say that.
Okay.
And then we saw Nancy Pelosi, who called, or Donald Trump called for National Guard, and she denied it, which is true. And I don't think it's her position to call or deny that, or Trump to call or deny the National Guard. But
why didn't Donald Trump look to see what people wanted when he deployed the National Guard to D.C. a month ago? Seems like he didn't care at all then. So he does have the ability to do it. He is the president of the United States. Nancy Pelosi's position is not the same as Donald Trump's there. And the thing that they wanted to think about before allowing additional assistance was they just didn't like the optics of the National Guard being there during the voting count. But this was before the violence. This wasn't on the day out. On the day out, everybody was begging Trump to do something. His family members, a lot of Republicans were on the phone with him, and he just sat and watched it on TV as it all unfolded.
Yeah, we are holding them responsible for behavior. I'm holding all right-wingers responsible, just like you are, Death Pig. Just like you are. All right-wingers rape their own kids, because I saw some of them say it sometimes. Like, this is how retarded your worldview is. This is how retarded your worldview is. You said they were all justifying riots at the time, and then it walks back to some leftists. Some leftists were. So it is Twitter users. You were talking about Twitter users.
It was truly like one of the most deplorable moments in U.S. history, and you think it was like a both sides thing. This is exactly what I'm saying, though. Like, how can you possibly have a come-together moment when your side thinks that they didn't really even do anything wrong?
no, I didn't say he didn't do it wrong. I'm agreeing that he didn't. He should have called for that.
He caused it. He wanted it to happen. It was the goal. It was the easiest instigation from start to finish. Like, he tried to rig the election.
I don't agree with him rigging the election. I don't think there's enough proof of him.
There's 100% proof. It's all in the open.
We saw certain ballots who were literally flooded ballots who were just thrown away.
No, we didn't. There's a reason they lost every single court case related to this. But none of this ended up panning out. There was no evidence for anything.
There were a lot of court cases, by the way. He lost quite a lot of them.
2020, the one the J6 happened. The mail-in ballot one.
It was a very weird time for me when January 6th happened because I was still mourning my father. Like, my father died very, very close to the event. I think... What was the exact date? Hold on. Hmm. 22nd December 2020. See, so it was. I will admit that it was pretty close to the event. So we were still kind of all in the thing happening mode, and then January 6th madness happened. All right. You got hype. I'm not sure if you should be feeling hype during an event like that. Or is a very, very negative thing to feel hype over. Why not what? You should think about it and answer that question for yourself.
So I don't initially. So like, no, I understand. There's no together then, right? Like we're living in fundamentally different realities. Like nothing that we say is gonna. Like how could we possibly? This country.
Look, doggos a regular dog. Okay? A dog is not guilty of who their owner is. Sorry. Stunlock, what were we talking about? Gaza,
Gaza, you were talking about how they deserve it, I think you said?
Yeah, I think that is what you said. I think that's what I was saying, yeah. No, as somebody who's been to Palestine, who's talked to many people in Palestine, who's been to multiple villages, who's been to Bethlehem, who's talked to the PLA, I think that there is this massive issue where there are two groups of people that fundamentally don't want to live with each other, and the solution to this is unclear, because if you give, for example, all of the land back to Palestinians, then the Jews have nowhere to go. Like we're in this situation like 90 to 100 years later, where like there isn't a solution that is simple and clean and nice, and Netanyahu is like leaning into like some of the dirtiest, ugliest ways of perpetuating his power rather than solving the issue. And I think Netanyahu actually doesn't care if Israeli citizens die. In fact, it's good if he has a few die every year to like maintain the war, which I think is really, really awful. I just think that like when we talk about Israel, we have to be complicated and talk about like when it began.
She is just like so condescending to everyone she meets. It's really crazy. Oh, apparently, okay, so apparently this is their unfuck America friend, the lesbian they were with. Apparently she jumps in to try and defend Destiny from black people.
What? What?
This is profiling in action. That was profiling in action. Holy shit. She just profiled this guy like crazy. A lesbian jumps in to protect a rapist from prayer. This is America Manifest. Can you talk about this?
Who is this person?
Soldiers about how they shouldn't video like the certain things that they do. And I just want to ask you, how can you justify what Israel is doing while being on the left and seeing atrocities and genocide that they're doing?
Yeah, so I think there's two different questions baked in there. So one is the idea that there was some video of me encouraging the IDF to do war crimes and how to hide them. So this is a video that was taken, I think, like a year and a half ago when I went to Israel. I was talking to an audience full of my fans. It was like 300 or 400 people. There were a couple IDF people there because I guess there were a lot of people in the IDF there. I think at the time the big media...
I mean, what he said there was really, really stupid. So I don't, like, he said, if you're gonna do it, don't film it. So Think of that what you will. He did say what he said, okay? He did say if you guys are gonna commit crimes, don't film them. Which I don't think there are many complicated interpretations of what he said there, to be quite honest with you. I don't think it's some complex issue.
Was there were people that were like putting on dresses and people.
Okay, he did literally say that though. He did say, "Don't take your phones, don't record yourself doing fucking Warcraft." That is basically what he said. So I mean, this scope.
Yeah, it is what he said. Yeah, it's on film. It's recorded. So.
If you guys ever saw video record yourself doing stupid shit, I mean, like, they shouldn't do it either, but people try to misconstrue this as like, if you guys are genociding people, like, don't video record it. I've never made a statement like that. I think it would be a ridiculous statement to make. Insofar as, like, justifying what Israel's doing now, I think that Israel has, like, a just cause for war against Hamas. I think that their behavior in war seems to be increasingly...
Also, people did not misconstrue it as, if you're gonna genocide, don't record it. What people said is that Destiny said, if you're gonna commit crimes, don't record them. And that is what Destiny said. Verbatim. So.
Like, harder to defend. I think that, I think that the issue is that after Trump was elected, he basically has no more leash holding him back on anything. I think that Israel is a country who has a foreign policy that's constrained by their kind of domestic relationship, you know, with their own people, and then sometimes with their international relations with other countries. I think that if Netanyahu could, I think he would push every Palestinian out of the Gaza Strip.
That's what he's trying to do.
Yeah, but I think before, I don't think it was possible, but now it might be. I mean, I wouldn't support them doing that. I think it's bad. I think there's a lot of people that have died there now. I don't understand why they have to go in now to get rid of Hamas. I don't know what they've been doing for the last year and a half. Like, it's not like I, you know, uncritically support every action that Israel.
Are you not get bored listening to this shit? I do a bit, but it is what it is. This is the biggest political pundits doing real politics, don't you see? Don't you understand? I'm observing real politics in action. Why don't you understand, please?
It feels like a lot of the rhetoric from the left is that they didn't have a right to go to war after they took some of the taxes. It's ridiculous. You know?
I just have a hard time being able to be okay with like how big of a lobby APEC is and how they fund both sides of our politicians that then vote on bills to give them money and give them missiles.
Okay. Is there
I'm watching Destiny heal the United States after a tragic event, and you have no respect for it. I cannot believe you. Destiny is trying to heal this country. I mean, to be fair, I am watching this video on speed up. I am watching this video on 1.25 sped up. Because I would not be able to watch this on regular speed. Sorry. My sincere apologies.
anything else here? Is there anything else in the...
Hi guys.
It's one of those situations where...
Wrong one.
Biden didn't ask the same.
Let's skip into this a little bit. Let's...
Why didn't Donald Trump look... Okay, sorry, go ahead. I agree. Because of the reconstruction of Gaza. Donald Trump tried to rescind...
TikTok attention span. You were just complaining about me watching this, and now you say that I should be watching this on regular speed. Make up your mind.
I'll make these really quick. Why have you noticed any violent protests since what happened in Charlie?
I don't know. I thought there was like a shooting this morning or something.
Yeah, Destiny's demonetized, I think, as far as I can tell.
I haven't necessarily seen anything. Why do you think that is?
Well, I have no idea.
You and I are about the same age. I grew up in a...
I should watch something else on regular speed. I could... People watch... And this is weird to me. People watch shows and anime on double speed or something like that. It's just... Why? Why would you watch entertainment on... Whatever.
Had a lot of violent protests during the whole like BLM riots and everything like that. When I saw it happen to Charlie, the first thing I did was text my family and say, I am not necessarily...
Yeah, I know, this is stupid. Why would you watch stuff like that on double speed?
Sure. And then nothing happened. And I have been trying to wrap my brain about why that is. And I guess I'm just curious if you have any thoughts.
I mean, I think one thing that plays into it a lot is probably that conservatives feel like they have all the power right now, so they don't necessarily need to be violent. You have Kash Patel, you've got Pam Bondi, who are literally puppets for Trump, and then you've got Trump, leading in exactly the way they want to be led, which is into some kind of violent civil war-ish environment. So maybe they just don't feel, I don't know, the need to go out and be violent, or I don't know, that's my guess, but I'm not sure. It might just be different tendencies of different people for different things. COVID was also like a weird time in general, so it's hard to say, like everybody was locked up and bored. And
I'm talking like 2016 era. Well, even earlier than that, like 2012, like the Trayvon Martin stuff. I wouldn't say that was necessarily when it was actually happening so much as that he was kind of coming up, but neither here nor there. It seems like over the last 10 years or something since I kind of started paying attention to things, there have been all of these, we'll never cross this line, we'll never cross this line from both sides.
This sucks. So what, you guys up and leaves for a bit?
I've now been inspired.
Welcome back, Greater Rain.
Sorry, we'll keep
Was that
working
end
on
of the event or what?
You can debate a liberal or a conservative. So when you come up, make sure you let us know whether you want to debate a liberal or conservative. You got me as the liberal, the dirty liberal, and Austin as the representative conservative.
I don't know if it's just me, Conrad says. I don't know if it's just me being a really slow reader, but when I read a book, I focus and analyze every word to get more out of my sitting. And then there are some people who read 800 pages per book in one night. It's wild to me. I don't know. I'm not even... I cannot comment on that because I'm a really slow reader. I'm a really, really slow reader. When I read a sentence, I start basically going on to, oh, this sentence reminds me of this other thing, and that makes me think of this other thing still, and it makes me wonder about this and that and the other, and I just drift into thoughts, and it takes me a long time to go through a text because of that. I don't know. There's probably some merit to that approach, but it means that I go through books really, really slowly. It's just, oh, when I read about this person doing that, it reminds me of that other person doing this and how it relates to this other event, and it makes me connect the dots on this other thing that I read before, and and I just spend time thinking about it before moving forward with the reading. Yeah, so I definitely feel you on that front. Maya Mayor says, I watched that video of these anime tourists reviewing old anime, and they admitted to watching most of them at twice speed in the video. Yeah, exactly. That's what I was thinking about. Those people that were like, oh yeah, all those anime classics, we respect those, so we watch them on double speed. Like, what? Dudes. It's smart to look over words you're unfamiliar with instead of just trying to brute force reading. Well, it's not even about looking up words that I don't understand. It's about thinking about what I've just read and the implications of what I've just read. Analyzing the text as I read it, as it were.
Okay, this is like terrible.
I think that is what Conrad is referring to in any case.
Well, this is just shit. Okay. Destiny comes back here.
You can give presentations, you can do speeches, where you can have people.
Yeah, and this garbage should be boring. It's just literally gonna be boring as well.
As a proponent of free speech, I'm willing to give my life to make sure that my son and my family has a better America than it was.
Yeah, who is this black guy? He's like a fucking Richie Torres skinwalker, is he not? Where, did we see this guy somewhere? We saw this guy on something? No, we saw this guy. We watched this guy talk somewhere, I think. Jubilee. Yes, he was on Jubilee.
Where is he?
I think he spoke to Mehdi Hassan, right?
Where is he?
My theory on how you stop.
Yeah, Fido must have heard something, or... Fido rarely barks, actually. Believe it or not, Fido actually very rarely barks like that, so I wonder what got him agitated. Fido's actually not a very vocal dog. 3,000 non-fiction books a year. Yeah, 3,000 books per year. Yeah, I believe that totally. I totally believe that a person reads 3,000 books per year. Fido. Fido. Hodge, Fido.
It is somebody has to develop. You know, Dr. King said this.
You haven't missed
Somebody has to
much.
have sense
Most
enough
of the good topics we're gonna do right now. Fido, chodź. No chodź. No co jest? No co? No co? No co? No co? No co? No co? No ojej. Dobry, Busiek, dobry. No chodź, no chodź. No chodź. No co? No co? No co? Fajdo. Fajdo, chodź, chodź, oj. Fajdusiu, chodź. Fajdo. No co? No co? No co? Fajdo. No co? No co? Fajdo. 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 No co? Oh. I do look up some words I don't understand. Though sometimes I will look them up. I need my 20 different words for hills in Tolkien. Fajdo. You should buy him some meat. If you donate, I'll be able to buy Fido some meat. And he'll be happy then. If I buy Fido some meat, he'll be happy. I got him dry food. He has food in his bowl. I'm not gonna give him pizza. That's not good for him.
to meet hate with love. Somebody has to have sense enough to meet physical force with soul force. So somebody's just going to one day have to have the balls, and I like to think I got the pair, to run.
This guy is just so cringe, man. I can't take it. I can't fucking
Somebody has
take
to have
it,
those,
man.
not be afraid of the oligarchs, not be afraid of the military-industrial complex, not be afraid of the oligarchs that are in control of this system, we'll just say. And if you have to become so caught up with trying to change the system that you're not afraid to die. Dr. King said that if a man has not found something for which he's willing to die, you're unfit to live. He gave his life for the civil rights movement as a prime example. Charlie Kirk gave his life as
I give my dog pizza all the time. You shouldn't. Let me see. Should you give pizza to a dog? No, you should not give pizza to a dog because it contains ingredients that are harmful or toxic. Okay? It contains ingredients that are harmful or toxic. If you want to kill your dog, or I don't know, make your dog really unhappy and suffer, then go ahead. Such as onions and garlic and high levels of fat and salt that can cause digestive upset, pancreatitis, and obesity. While a dog may seem fine after eating a small piece, it's best to avoid giving them pizza entirely to prevent potential short-term issues and long-term health problems. Like, dogs are not... Human food is not good for dogs. What else do you feed your dog? Chocolate? Jesus Christ. Onions and garlic, common in pizza dough. Sauce and some toppings are toxic to dogs and can damage their red blood cells. I'd rather not play lottery with my... I would rather not play lottery with my dog's health. Thank you very much.
As a proponent of free speech, I'm willing to give my life to make sure that my son and my family has a better America than it was when I came here, when I was born in 1995. That doesn't come from me, it comes from God, because otherwise I wouldn't be standing...
What is this I'm seeing? What is this stupid fucking Hutch post? Out Black Pill left, in Black Pill libs. He's not...
What?
Seriously saying he's going to start hitting libs in his content, is he? He's not now saying, I'm going to be like... Dude, this guy's so fucking retarded. Dude, this guy is so dumb. I haven't seen a longer post. No, can you send it to me? Alright, where is it? Oh. So this is a Destiny tweet where he says, looks like guardrails didn't hold. Thumbs up. Between all the mainstream / alt media I've consumed and the amount of time I've spent in liberal spaces, I think it's mostly occupied by spineless fucks anyway, who are too busy tripping over themselves to soy out each other and can literally never fucking stand on business against anything. So this is just seething that people don't want to hang around a sex pest.
Yeah, because, whatever. I'm not even gonna...
Big props to MAGA fascists and the tankies that...
Yeah, so most of the ingredients on that pizza are bad, yeah.
Help. I'm looking forward to spending time in the camps with my lived out friends when the time comes. Yeah, but it just seems like he's saying, oh, I'm going to cry about Destiny instead now. Because the Black Pill left, he calls Black Pill, those are the people he goes after all the time, you know? Yeah, Hutch is taking it personally, I think. I think he's taking his arguments with DGs recently very personal. I think that's what's happening. I'm sorry, but like this is gay as fuck crying about his like networking opportunities in the middle here. But the sentiment here is kind of true. Like the guardrails are not holding right now. I'm sorry. That's just true. That is just true.
That's taking a seat next to Destiny today. So I think that that's really what has to happen. This generation has to use social media too. We saw how quickly, let's be honest, we saw how quickly Trump jumped on the Kirk situation because people were talking about it. They cannot stop us from talking about it right now. They can't stop us whether you're Republican,
Guardrails
Democrat.
Democracy,
you get your friends together, you get your people together,
your
use your
constitution,
platform to start one if you don't have one already, and hold these people accountable. That's the only way we change it. Politicians are crooked in the sense that they will bend to the will of the people because they need our money and they need our votes. The trick is to not let them lose sight of that. And again, whether you're Republican or Democrat, doesn't matter. You have to take what you believe in and force the politicians through platforms like TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, whatever, to hold them accountable and make them do something. And when they don't, well, then, you know, it might be time for a different kind of political revolution. One that without violence, which is very clear, you have to say that. Because what we have to have is a revolution of values. Not violence, but a revolution of values. A revolution of morality is needed in this country like never before. And if we lose sight of that, we're going to lose America. That's why... I know some of you might hate Reagan, but he did say that America is the last great social experiment, because essentially that's what we are. There is a reason that we're fighting about immigration. You know why?
This guy's an audience member. This guy's on UFA.
Clamoring and climbing borders to get over here. That should tell you something about the greatness of the potential of this nation. All right? It's all about potential. But we only
Immigration is a thing worldwide. What?
Subject. The reality is that nothing is going to change it for Palestine or Ukraine, Russia, because nobody wants to take the time to actually understand it. It's nice to come out and virtually single out dead kids. You clearly don't care about 10 children because you have nothing to say about the children dying in Yemen. You have nothing to say about the children dying in Sudan.
Oh my god, the audio is so bad. I just cannot hear what he's saying.
You have nothing to say about the children dying in Syria. There have been hundreds of thousands of war, childlike deaths.
Oh my god, isn't this guy such an awesome like Reddit atheist? Isn't this guy such an awesome Reddit atheist? You care about this geopolitical conflict, but you don't care about all these others. Does that mean you just don't care about any of them? Wow, isn't this guy so fucking awesome and so high IQ?
That is so stupid. That is such a stupid thing to say.
Yeah.
It's like when people say, "Oh my god, this political commentator only talks about this conflict. Why doesn't he talk about this or that?" Well, that's because they're focusing on this conflict. This is basically the equivalent of that.
He is uniquely inaudible. I can only attribute this to Price.
Yeah, about an hour. Okay, aggressively pass out flyers to all the people.
Dude, I hate this woman so much.
Believe it or not, it's good for people to have focus. To have a focus. Not try to tackle everything. Everything, everywhere, all at once. It's just nonsense.
I think if I'd seen as much of her content as I have as of Erudites, I would probably hate them equally.
Who is this person? I don't even know who they are.
As a neck hat. Yeah, she's like a ex-MAGA liberal convert. So she absolutely was. She was.
Oh, I think I know who this is actually. I think I might actually know who this is. I think I might have seen this person on a panel, and I did not like what I seen.
Jumping there. She was on edge. Okay, I think that's
That's
the
it.
Destiny stuff for now.
That's it. That's all. That's all she wrote. Oh, Destiny's doing Expedition 33. So I might as well check.
Alright, what are you?
See what's that?
Why can't I fight this guy? Because I whip his ass and he knows it! He knows!
Calm down.
Wait, I've already done this dungeon, right? Okay, yes. I need to go west.
Let us get to it.
Are you gonna fight anybody?
I've already done.
Or is even called Destiny? It's just a nickname that he chose.
Whatever. You haven't done that. Wait, what do you mean I haven't done that?
Let us get wet.
Wait, forgot item in the water? Wait, there's items in the water? That's for later, don't worry. Wait, what's this? Wait, when would I have done this? Stone Wave Cliffs.
Wow.
You came from here. Oh yeah, I did.
Oh my god, Destiny's having trouble keeping to the plot.
Fuck you.
There's really no lore to why he's called Destiny that I know of.
Wow, thanks for that more subs, lol.
What is he doing? Why is he coming back here? What are you doing?
Playing games because he's afraid of politics, not so cute. How does it make you feel that all of your conservative intellectual heroes are fucking shivering in their boots when it comes to debating somebody that's not a fucking college kid on campus? Be honest. How embarrassed does that make you? I'm just a random retarded YouTuber. In my world, we call those layups. Unless they're actually not as confident in their position as they seem to be.
Okay, that's enough. He's
okay.
This is boring. I thought I'd see him try to parry or whatever. Can I see him get into a fight? Why did Destiny get demonetized? I honestly have probably over the rhetoric about Charlie Kirk.
Okay, west.
I can only speculate. I don't know.
South.
Nobody knows. That's the only answer that I can offer you.
Well,
I don't know.
Thank you for giving 10 subs on Kick.
I have no clue.
Okay, here.
Master swimmer.
Here.
Oh yeah, that's the...
This place, to the north. Not that place.
I'm pretty sure all
We've done
the...
this one. The Lost Woods.
I'm pretty sure your destinations are...
Because I couldn't get to it. Oh, I'm probably get something that like lets me burn down trees or some bullshit.
No.
Wow, what did you think for the 5 gifted subs on Kick, buddy? Wow, human number 5, thank you for the 5 gifted subs on DGG.
There's no burning down trees.
Swim to it. You have gone there.
Oh.
I don't think you can swim to it. Look, it's like... Wait, are you guys just guessing, or...
Oh my god.
I don't think I can go there.
What is he doing? What is he trying? What? How do Maga explain the Kimmel thing to themselves? What happened to free speech? Free speech is free speech for me, but not for thee. That's basically the explanation. That's the explanation. Free speech for me, but not for thee. That's
no, I'm not getting baited by you fucking losers. The only thing I think I might be able to do that I haven't yet is this thing, this floating island thing. I'll go check that out.
What is he doing?
Oh, what's up, losers?
Okay, let's see.
You got banned from all major streaming platforms. Would you quit streaming in total? Wait, I didn't read that. Attacking and not getting hit. Okay.
Should probably, yeah, do that.
Oh, attack. Attack.
He's a dumb streamer. Don't analyze what he's doing in a game. That is true.
What?
Oh, it's messed up. Oh.
What? It missed? I get another turret?
Oh.
Very high physical.
Ouch. Ay, ay, ay.
Damage. 5 hits. Critical hits. What was that thing? Game too loud? Yeah.
What the hell was that?
Wait, what? What? Wait, what? It missed? I get another turret? Very high physical damage. 5 hits. Critical hits. What was that thing? Game too loud? Yeah, I don't know why that volume resets. Oh, hold on. Let me... Wait, why does it get louder every time?
No, they didn't just do what they wanted as a private company. They got pressured into it. Let's not kid ourselves.
Oh wait, actually, I bet it just hadn't.
Just like with Stephen Colbert. By the way.
All right, this is probably fun, I think. Why is she in my main party right now?
Because she's the heaviest hitter in the entire game. Maybe that's why. I might have something to do with it, that she's one of the better characters in the entire game.
Were you worried about getting sniped out on campus? Listen, I feel like the chance of somebody trying to kill you are low. And then the chance of somebody trying to kill you and succeeding are even lower. That guy got real lucky, okay? Charlie got real unlucky. Like, what are the chances of that? That the guy would not only try to do it, but get away with it, like, manage to shoot, and then also hit, and then also kill in one shot. I feel like that guy rolled like a fucking... He rolled like 2 nat 20s, okay? To make that.
That's a very weird way to describe an assassination, but...
Okay. Fuck is that shit? Okay, don't care. Wait, why do I get more turns? I don't understand how this character works.
Because you got... Because you're... Look at your speed stat! Jesus Christ almighty! Look at your agility stat.
Did he have an extra turn? Maybe he just had... Oh, I bet it's because I've got a Picta because I'm a thing. That's why. Never mind.
Oh my god.
I'm fucking retarded. Oh!
Really?
Okay. East. That's where we're going.
We'll look into it. My God. Okay, it's enough. We're wasting time. We're wasting time. We're actually wasting time here. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into the whole thing. What shall we start with? We're gonna start with explaining why I'm an extremist, I guess. Because that's the thing now. That is the thing to do. Your privacy options. All right. Group behind Project 2025 urges FBI to brand transgender extremists a domestic terror threat. In the wake of Charlie Kirk's death, the ultra-conservative Heritage Foundation proposed a broad definition of extremist rhetoric that would seemingly cover a wide range of pro-LGBT plus activism. So basically, you know, I have no clue why in the wake of Charlie Kirk's death, since the shooter is not even trans, but whatever. It seems like anything and everything can be blamed on trans people, and increasingly not just trans rights will be taken away, but also trans people will be branded as shooters and extremists. That is the world that we live in, I guess.
You've got the majority in the House. You're back in session. Is this something that could be on the table with the Speaker, something to bring back mental institutions? I don't care what you call them, but a place where people can get the treatment that they need so this doesn't happen again.
Yeah, we need to do that, Rob. Absolutely. We need to stop these doctors, these pediatricians that have gone for years now, that have taken 12 and 14-year-olds and convinced them that they should do the gender transition.
Yeah, doctors convince people that they should do the transition. That is totally how that works. That is totally how gender affirming care works. They just persuade teens, you want to be trans, yeah, please go transition. Here's your first hit of the hormones. It's the first one's for free, but you're gonna have to pay for the next one. Conrad says, sometimes I forget how dumb an average person is, because who buys it? I understand being confused about trans people, disliking them. You know what I mean? But this is really silly. Yeah, it is. And I can't even understand I can't actually understand not understanding it. Or being even a bit, apprehensive. But this is just... It's all an opportunity to attack trans people. It's always an opportunity to just attack trans people. Yeah, Charlie Kirk was shot by some dude. Therefore, it's all about doctors convincing teens to be trans, of course.
They put them on hormones. They've mutilated their bodies. They've cut their breast off. They've cut their genitalia off. And a lot of these people were just...
Yeah, all these things that are, first of all, not happening. And second of all, it's not how these surgeries work. Conrad says it's cheap populism to keep on the anti-woke narrative. Yeah, Yep, and it's working, unfortunately, because as I said before, as I've said a million times, it's easier to spread lies and misinformation than to educate people on things, which is, again, why I'm not a fan of having the fascist club on campus.
They were confused because they were going through puberty, and it's a natural thing. And they preyed upon them, and they convinced them that there was something wrong with them. And now they're in this.
What do you mean you're just showing your hand? What do you mean they're convincing them that there's something wrong with them? Nobody says that if you're, apart from conservatives and people like you, that if you're trans, that there's something wrong with you. Like, only people like you say that there's something wrong with you if you're trans.
Position years down the road where they have legitimate psychiatric issues related to the stuff that they've been exposed to and the things that they've been told and the stuff
that is really insidious and really dangerous, by the way, to blame, to do this witch hunt on medical professionals. Do I really have to explain why it's dangerous, why it's a dangerous precedent to set to attack medical professionals in this way? That do not try to convince people of anything. They just try to treat people in the best way based on their observation. That is what's happening. They're trying to choose the best possible course of action for their patients. They're not trying to convince people into being trans. That's stupid. Why would they even? What is the incentive for doctors to do that? Why exactly would doctors do that? Why would they even gain from doing that?
Happened to them. We have to do something about this. We have to treat these people. We have to get them off the streets, and we have to get them off the internet.
Off the streets?
Can't let them communicate with each other. I'm all about free speech, but this is a virus internet. We have to treat the things that they've been told and the stuff that's happened to them. We have to do something about this. We have to treat these people. We have to get them off the streets, and we have to get them off the internet. We can't let them communicate with each other. I'm all about free speech, but this is a virus. This is a cancer that's spreading across this country.
Yes. Trans people are a virus. Okay, great. Thank you.
That's going to do great damage to normal, hardworking, law-abiding people.
Mm-hmm. There you go. There you have it. The narrative is pretty clear. The influential conservative think tank behind Project 2025 has urged the FBI to treat violent transgender ideology as a new domestic terror threat. What is violent transgender ideology? So basically, if you're a trans person, you are a terrorist. You're a domestic terror threat if you're a trans person. That's basically it. That is basically the translation of this whole narrative, which I'm not surprised because trans people do seem to be public enemies number one these days. If you're trans, then you're crazy, you're a shooter in the making, you're an extremist, you're a terrorist, you're everything that's worse. Even Vladimir Putin at some point has said that he's actually invading Ukraine because of wokeness, trans people, and because J.K. Rowling is being persecuted in the West. Conrad asks, what needs to happen to get the political climate shift from right to, let's say, center? What does Trump need to do to break his voters? I feel, although I don't even know anymore, I felt for some time that if American people would start feeling the economic impact of what Trump's doing, then they would start turning against him. Well, I mean, Trump's, as far as I understand, is not very popular right now. And people are starting to feel the economic impact of his policies. I think farmers were hit by his, the eggs are cheaper. I think farmers were hit by his tariff policy, so they're starting to be unhappy with that. And I feel like the only way for Trump voters to turn against him is for them to feel the economic impact. I don't think any cultural thing will move them. I think if anything, it's gonna have to be their wallets getting impacted. That's it. In my opinion, of course. Maybe I'm wrong, but that is how I feel it would go. And Trump's not very good for the economy, so I don't know. We'll see. In a petition launched on Thursday, the Heritage Foundation, along with its spin-off group, the Oversight Project, called on the agency to add transgender ideology-inspired violent extremism, aka TIVE, to its list of domestic extremist groups, so that it could detect, disrupt, and dismantle TIVE cells. So basically, it's a whole new way of attacking the trans community. Preemptively branding them as terrorists, as extreme elements, and yeah. They cited the assassination of Charlie Kirk, which has nothing to do with trans people, as only the latest example in a long line of homegrown terrorists brainwashed by trans ideology. No evidence of that whatsoever. There's no evidence of any trans person really affecting the choice to shoot Charlie Kirk. It's all just assumptions. It's all just speculation, as always. Though evidence for such a trend is thin at best. There you go. In other words, there's no evidence whatsoever. As per usual with those people. Oh, there was a trans person somewhere in the background that cooperated with the authorities when it came to the capture of the shooter. Oh, it must have been trans ideology then. It must have been trans ideology that made the shooter do it, of course. Of course. For example, according to a gun violence archive, around 0.1% of mass shootings that took place over the last 10 years were carried out by transgender people. A study from the Violence Prevention Project at Hamline University backs this up. PolitiFact also reported found that trans people are more likely to be victims of violence than their cisgender peers. I mean, it's just, those are such obvious things. Like, it's so obvious that trans people are more likely to be victims of violence than perpetrators or than their cisgender peers. And while the Heritage Foundation and the Oversight Project insisted that they were not accusing all trans people of being terrorists, but I don't believe that. The Republic explanation of TIVE rhetoric appeared extremely broad. Yeah, because in reality, they do want to attack all trans people, but it would not be very good optics, so they have to, they have to disguise it a little bit. You just have to make it broad enough that you seem not to be attacking all trans people, but in reality you are, very much so. Encompassing many arguments made by trans rights activists. Yeah, because this whole thing is basically just created. This whole thing is by design. It's designed to attack trans activists, those who try to protect trans rights. TIVE adherents have carried out horrific acts of political violence through assassination and targeted mass shootings of Christians in furtherance of their ideology. Yeah, because what does that even mean? Said the Oversight Project. Yeah, people are being shot in adherence to the trans ideology. What are the tenets of the trans ideology? I'd like to know. I'd like someone to tell me. The time has come for the federal government to use the full weight of federal law enforcement to crush this threat, to keep Americans safe. Yeah, because trans people are such a threat to America. The Heritage Foundation is known for its close ties to both Trump administrations. The second Trump administration has followed many Project 2025 proposals. The Oversight Project was previously part of the Heritage Foundation until being spun off as an independent entity earlier this year. Its president, Mike Howell, remains a visiting fellow at Heritage. The petition dovetails with a years-long effort by many within the MAGA movement to smear America's estimated 2.8 million trans people as exceptionally violent, unstable, and prone to perpetrating mass shootings. 2.8 million people. That's quite a lot, actually. That is quite a big number of trans people. And as far as I know, I've heard statistics quoted that there have been five shootings done by trans people in the US within the last few years. 5 people out of 2.8 million. Yeah, that's a really big problem. Yeah, those trans people are a really big problem. Persönliche Videospiel Ostpolice says, remember when in the life of Brian, Moses dropped the third tablet with 5 other tenants? Maybe they mean those, who knows? Probably, yeah. Yeah, the petition dovetails with a year-long effort by many within the MAGA movement to smear America's estimated 2.8 million trans people as exceptionally violent, unstable, and prone to perpetrating mass shootings. Because, of course. In the immediate aftermath of Kirk's death, the Wall Street Journal published a report alleging, wrongly as it turned out, that shell casing had been found etched with messages of transgender ideology. I still would like an explanation of what transgender ideology exactly is and what are its tenets. So I can better, follow it. So I can follow my ideology in a more encompassing way. Does that make sense? I'm a trans person. I don't even know my own ideology. It's pretty embarrassing, to say the least. Prompting a response from the Human Rights Campaign. This reporting was reckless and irresponsible. Well, you should know shit. It's not irresponsible, it's not reckless. Okay? It's deliberate. It's a deliberate attack on trans people. And it led to a wave of threats against the trans community from right-wing influencers. I'm sorry, but right-wing influencers, they just need an excuse, okay? Right-wing influencers hate trans people. It's not any resulting wave of terror for a community that is already living in fear. The organization said in a press release. California State Senator Scott Wiener likewise said, the obsession with tying trans people to shootings is vile and dangerous. I mean, trans people have been on the receiving end of a harassment campaign for years now. They're the biggest boogeyman of the right. Like, no matter what conversation you're having with a right-wing person, no matter what debate they're having, they will open with, how many genders are there? What do you think about the transes? We've seen this time and time and time again. No matter what political debate is being had, sooner or later, trans rights topic will be brought up. Inevitably. Trans people will be brought up. First, they try to say shooters might be trans, and WSJ amplifies that lie. Once that fell apart, they pivot to, he lived with a trans person. Even if true, who cares? It's McCarthyism and truly disgusting. It follows Donald Trump's declaration that he would designate Antifa a loose, decentralized left-wing anti-fascist movement with no clear hierarchy or structure, a major terrorist organization, which we will be talking about as well. I'm late to the party on this one, but we will be talking about Trump designating Antifa as a terrorist organization. Things are happening. Things are happening faster and faster. Insane. Transgender ideology is violent at its core. Yeah, I will ask once again for an explanation what transgender ideology even is, because I have no clue. The US government lacks the legal authority to designate US organizations as terrorist groups. Still, the FBI maintains a list of broad domestic terrorist classifications such as racially, ethnically motivated violent extremism, anti-government, anti-authority violent extremism, and abortion-related violent extremism. In the Thursday explanation, the Oversight Project and Heritage explicitly avowed that not all trans people or their supporters should be treated as terrorists, and that individuals are free to identify as transgender or support transgenderism in a non-violent way. Whatever that means. Because I would like to remind you that this sentence says transgender ideology is violent at its core. Okay? At its core.
Radicals on the right as well. We have radicals on the left. People are watching all of these videos and cheering. Some people are cheering that Charlie was killed. How do we fix this country? How do we come back together?
I'll tell you something that's going to get me in trouble, but I couldn't care less. The radicals on the right oftentimes are radical because they don't want to see crime. They don't want to see crime.
Worried about the border.
They're saying, we don't want these people coming in. We don't want you burning our shopping centers. We don't want you shooting our people in the middle of the street. The radicals on the left are the problem. And they're vicious, and they're horrible, and they're politically savvy. Although they want men and women sports, they want transgender for everyone, they want open borders. The worst thing that happened...
What does that mean, they want transgender for everyone? What does that even mean? And here is Trump basically... yeah, this is Trump lowering the atmosphere. This is Trump lowering the temperature by saying, oh yeah, no, right-wing extremists are actually good. The right-wing extremists are fighting for the good cause, while the left-wing extremists are vicious and horrible and they're trying to destroy the country. Wow, okay. No bias there. I don't give a damn. The right-wing extremists are good and the left-wing people are bad. It's just... that is what it is. They want transgender for everyone. They defined TIVE as encompassing any potentially unlawful threats of violence or incitement intended to further ideological agendas derived from transgender ideology. Again, whatever that means, whatever that term means. They're worried about the border. The far-right extremists are simply worried about the border. They simply don't want crime. Of course. One such agenda, they said, was the belief that violence is justified against people who oppose transgender ideology or who are silent or indifferent. Okay, first of all, I have no idea what transgender ideology is. Second of all, I do not believe that the violence is justified against people who oppose this non-existent ideology, okay? There's no such thing as transgender ideology. I still challenge people to tell me what that even is. Is that even supposed to mean? Well, the other agenda, quote unquote, was far broader. The belief that anti-trans rhetoric or policies constitute a form of violence towards trans people, or that they threaten trans people's lives by contributing to the community's high suicide rate. I mean, anti-trans rhetoric and policies do constitute a form of violence against trans people. That's just undeniable. Believe it or not, robbing people of their rights is a form of persecution against people. If adopted by the FBI, that would brand a wide range of arguments common among progressive activists and writers as extremist rhetoric. Because, yeah, that is the entire purpose of this. To shut people up when they try to defend trans rights. Because the Trump administration is working very hard to deprive trans people of rights. And we will find ourselves in a situation when the Trump administration will introduce more and more executive orders, I suppose, that will deprive trans people of more and more rights. And whenever people will protest or criticize it or do anything else that would try to fight for the rights of trans people, they will be branded as extremists. That is exactly what is going to happen now. It's unclear what the two campaign groups meant by potentially unlawful, or what they would define as incitement. Yet, in follow-up posts on social media, the Oversight Project claimed that accusing conservatives of wanting to eradicate trans people was type rhetoric that leads people to justify violence. There you go. Just as I said, fighting for trans rights, it's type rhetoric that leads people to justify violence. If you fight for trans rights, you're an extremist. So according to the Heritage Foundation, a trans person who points out that Daily Wire commentator Michael Knowles has called for our eradication should be designated a violent extremist by the FBI? Yes. The answer is yes. Ask Ari Drennan of the left-wing campaign group Media Matters for America. The answer is, of course, yes. If we are to if we are to interpret what is being said here, then the answer, of course, is yes. The Heritage Foundation and Oversight Project further gave a list of terminology used by TIVEs, which included widely used terms such as cisgender, dead naming, and misgendering. So basically, yeah, wanting any sort of I guess, yeah, basically advocating for trans people is designated as extremism. Any sort of allowing any sort of dignity for trans people, that's extremism. That's basically terrorism. Awful. Also listed was Gillick competence, a legal term originating in British case law, which defines the point at which a person under 16 can consent to medical treatment, such as contraception, abortion, or hormone therapy without their parents' permission or knowledge. They gave 11 examples of attacks on people or property said to be motivated by tithe, including Kirk's shooting, which is nonsense. It has nothing to do with trans people whatsoever. Like, no trans people were involved in the shooting. But only four appeared to have any political motive. One of the 11 was Minneapolis shooter Robin Westman, whose diary expressed regret about transitioning, and echoed the Heritage Foundation's own rhetoric by saying they felt brainwashed into it. Of course. Of course. To understand transgender ideology is to understand that at its core it's wrapped in violence, at its very essence, said Mike Howell, because, of course, evidence, that's not needed. We all have to just follow our vibes on this one. The group said it would soon submit a formal mock designation for the FBI to implement and would publish this once it was ready, because trans people are not persecuted enough, I guess. What we know about the motive for Kirk's killing, we really don't know much. I can skip reading this and I just can say we don't know much. That is the reality of the situation. We do not know much about the motivation for Charlie Kirk's killing. There you go. So yeah, I guess, what can I say? If the Trump administration has its way and the people from the Project 2025, I will be designated an extremist within the US, because I do advocate for trans rights. I'm a trans person myself, and I guess I'm inherently violent somehow. So yeah, there we go. Prepare yourselves for a bright future in which trans people will face even more ostracization, will face even more ostracization, and will be even more persecuted and discriminated against. Good times. Good times. Good times. You know. I've been watching that guy recently. Which guy? Kid Not Ken? Oh yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've been raiding you into him lately. I've been raiding you into Kid Not Ken, hoping that one day he will, I don't know, return the favor, but Conrad is right. He never will. Interestingly enough, I think the only person that has raided me fairly regularly has been a loner box. So, make of that what you will. Yeah, I guess we can talk about the Antifa thing now, right? Yeah. Estelle? Yeah. Estelle talks in there. Yeah. Estelle is in there as well. Lucy, is that shirt new? It's fairly new. Yeah. I've got a blouse to go with it, like a jacket-like blouse to go with this. That's also blue. Yeah. My mom gave this to me. It's like exactly a shirt. It's a bit thicker than a shirt per se. But yeah, mom gave this to me. I'm wearing it. Oh, is there gonna be fighting? Okay. Oh, Xander Hall. Meantime, independent news. The raging tornado? What is this? Where are these? What is this? Bernie Sanders live destroys Trump at Chicago rally. Oh. Bernie Sanders is our goat, that's for sure. Yeah. And counterpoints. I'm probably gonna talk to him again. We'll see. We might get some interesting stuff going. All right, let's. There's a post that I really wanted to copy link. Donald J. Trump, real Donald Trump. Yeah, I think I'm gonna. Yeah, I've tested the waters. I think I know where I want the next conversation to go. I feel like I know where I want to take the next conversation, so it will be less ADHD, that's for sure. Because that was a bit, all over the place. Yeah. I feel like I should walk Fido after this. He deserves it. I am pleased to inform our many USA patriots that I am designating Antifa a sick, dangerous, radical left disaster as a major terrorist organization. You know, Antifa, that thing that is not an organization at all, that thing that is a loose movement of people that are against fascism without any hierarchy, without any real structure to speak of. That Antifa, I guess if you're anti-fascism, you are now a sick and dangerous radical. Hey, do you oppose fascism? I do. Okay, I guess we're gonna put you on the terrorist list now because Antifa is now I'm gonna repeat it again, a sick, dangerous, radical left disaster. What the hell does that even mean? Also, don't get me wrong, when you mention things like solidarity or something related to Poland, it turns out awkward because I can feel they don't give one fuck about it, sadly. I mean, it is what it is. What I was trying to say there are organizations that are violent. You can have you can have groups that will clash with the authorities when the authorities are being authoritarian, and this type of political violence I will not be against. There are justifiable types of political violence. That is the point that I was trying to make with that example. If that makes sense. I will also be strongly recommending that those funding Antifa be thoroughly investigated in accordance with the highest legal standards and practices. What the hell does that even mean? I will also be strongly recommending that those funding Antifa. How is Antifa being funded? It's not an organization. Who is funding Antifa and how? Thank you for your attention to this matter. I mean, that other trans person, that is less excusable because the person that was the leftist person that I was talking to, technically speaking, she is very interested in niche topics like this, you know? She claims to be interested in niche countries and, you know, in countries that were subjected and victims of imperialism, so they should give a fuck, at least on paper. So yeah, we're all domestic terrorists now because an organization that's not really an organization has been designated a terrorist threat, a violent extremist terrorist threat. Yeah, well, that is unfortunate, especially since the solidarity movement is actually not a very niche topic. It's actually a pretty big topic because it's the solidarity movement is considered, I think, this first thing that started the fall of the Eastern Bloc. So, you know, it is what it is. It was a pretty important thing for the entirety of Europe historically, but whatever. Whatever. It was I would say that it was a pretty big deal, but then again, who am I to talk? I'm just some wild extremist Polish nationalist and a trans person, which makes me a dangerous radical. A sick, dangerous radical, so what do I know? Yeah. Yeah. It is what it is. Like, it is what it is. For a person that claims to be a communist, socialist, to be trying to defend the Soviet Union in front of me, like, I don't know. defending the Soviet Union but knowing nothing about the opposition movements within the Soviet bloc. I'm very curious. I mean, yeah, basically, yeah. Like, did you not hear our mini debate about the Soviet Union? Did you not catch us having a little bit of a debate about the Soviet Union when they started defending the Soviet Union, and I said no, no, nope, we're not gonna be here defending the Soviet Union. I don't think so. You know. Will you be streaming tomorrow? Definitely yes. I vaguely remember it because I was doing something in the meantime. Well, the segment is being uploaded as we speak, so you can rewatch it and leave a comment and a like. %38% of it has been uploaded. So there you go. I don't even know what to add here. I have no clue what to add here to this whole Antifa thing. It's ridiculous. It's silly. It's just... I guess you can just brand anybody you don't like as a terrorist now. You're against fascism? Well, you're a terrorist. You're a trans person? I guess you're a terrorist. It's ridiculous. But you know, that is what happens when Donald J. Trump is the president of the United States. You call non-organizations organizations, and you call them a terrorist organization. Alden is number 2.0, maybe. I'd rather not be unnecessarily antagonistic to people, though. I'd rather, you know... It was a bit of a weird one, but... On the other hand, I'd rather, you know... I'm trying to... do some collabs. Yeah, but I don't think it's comparable. I don't think it's just about declaring yourself an organization officially. Like, Antifa does not have any structure to it at all. And I'm pretty sure ISIS does have structure to it. Could Google it. Yes, ISIS has a hierarchical and network structure. There you go. And Antifa does not have that at all. There's no recruitment to Antifa. There are no leaders of the Antifa. That's not a thing. There's no hierarchy to Antifa. Oh, okay. Well, thank you. Yeah, I guess I'd say that, yeah. There's just no hierarchical structure to this organization as opposed to organizations such as ISIS, even though they don't officially declare themselves an organization. Like, you don't get recruited into Antifa, you basically declare yourself Antifa if you are against fascism, which technically means that everybody is a terrorist. Because I would like to believe that most people, if not everybody, is against fascism. So, you know, Antifa, it literally means anti-fascism. Whatever. It's just Insanity. It is what it is. We live in a world when being anti-fascism gets you branded as a terrorist. That is where things went. Interestingly enough. Very sad state of affairs. President Sunday doing a video. Chilling and gaming. Let's set the record. Oh, Steven Crowder. Debunking lies about Charlie. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I really trust Steven Crowder to debunk lies about Charlie Kirk. Sheep Sing, birthday stream. "24 and hitting the wall." This is a huge, oh my god. Look at this dog. What a monster. Like a horse. Horse dog. Horse dogs.
Wow.
Henry, back up. Get back. Get back. Get back.
That is the stupid adam.
No, thank you. Fun and Destiny, unlikely allies against Congress. Interesting. Interesting. If you want me to watch anything, donate. That is the only way. I care about the paying subscribers. Do it, watch it, donate, and I will. Oh, Drew Pavlo is embarrassing himself on Wick most likely right now. Is he? Is he? Is he? Is he though? Let me see. Let me see. Yeah, that is actually happening. Mm-hmm.
He said that one guy.
Yeah, you have to donate more than just $2. Which are being taken from me by YouTube. How greedy, I know. I have to make a living. I have to buy Fido some meat. Do you hate my dog? Do you hate my dog? Is that it? That's a little rude. You have to be a little rude to be a streamer.
American than Mehdi.
I didn't say he was more American than Mehdi. I wasn't saying he was a better American than Mehdi. I was just saying what I was objecting to was the fact that Mehdi said, "I'm just as American as a guy with 400 years of history in the country," and I think that he wouldn't have said that to an African American guy.
What?
I think he would have said that to an African American guy. I don't think he would have.
I think he would have.
I think leftists are much more respectful to the fact that Black Americans are essentially indigenous to America after 400 years, but they're not really respectful to the fact that European Americans are after 400 years are the same thing.
I disagree.
Okay. Well, thank you for calling
That's
in.
my time.
Supporting the Hong Kong protesters who are going at the same time.
The activist. Always an anti-communist, if I understand.
Yeah.
I see that Drew is a little bit of a character. Let's watch this a bit.
Correctly?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, cool.
Hello,
So
sorry
maybe you
about that,
can
guys. I apologize.
introduce yourself then.
Link it then. Link it in the whatever thing.
Tell us a little bit about
no
who
worries,
you are.
No worries. So
I'll watch a bit of this, and then if you link the interview, I'll watch a bit of it as well.
I have a very long and winding political journey. I started when I was 19. I held a protest at the University of Queensland, which is my college in Brisbane, Australia. My protest was against the Chinese Communist Party, and I was supporting the Hong Kong protesters who were going at the same time. And my university had a really strong relationship with China. Economically, it was worth like 20% of the university's budget. So when I did that protest, they cracked down on me really hard. The Chinese government actually released articles in state media calling for me to be expelled from the university. And then the university actually went through with that, and they spent about $500,000 in Australian taxpayer money to try expel me. And basically, that was my introduction to politics. From the very start, I was sort of like attacked really viciously by people on the far left, even though I identified as like a Bernie type guy when I started out. I think just because like the issue...
The far left, of course. It's always about the far left. It's safe. How do you know YouTube is safe?
China is coded as conservative because Trump was talking about China as well. And unfortunately, as a result, I basically got really brutally smashed for years.
China is not far left, no.
Is by the far left. And that was my experience. That's what
I'm the far left, and I just don't know what she's talking about. YouTube is not a trans platform. Touche.
Sort of made me a hardcore, I mean, not hardcore, but that's what made me very strongly an anti-communist. I never would have necessarily started out as I would not have even described myself necessarily as an anti-communist when I started out. It was more out of a sort of, I mean, my views when I started out were kind of like Amnesty International style, upset with China's human rights record. It was more coming from a sort of like general humanitarian position. And I still, of course, care about human rights and humanitarian stuff and everything, of course. But I would say that my politics actually evolved into like basically hardline anti-communism because of my experiences with tankies. Years and years of these people cheering on death threats against my family. I was assaulted multiple times. Every time I was physically assaulted, they cheated on. I had a number of death threats and bomb threats sent against my family. My brother is a college soccer player in America.
I would call myself a pretty far left, and whatever. It's just...
He had the FBI visit his college dorm room because they did bomb threats in his they did bomb threats in his name to LAX. And he's not even living in LA, and obviously he was cleared like almost immediately, but they did that to my mum as well, death threats and bomb threats. They got me swatted. I was protesting outside the Chinese embassy in London, and I got swatted essentially. The Chinese embassy carried out a bomb threat in my name and reported me to the police, and I was arrested as a terror suspect and held incommunicado with no access to lawyers or anything for like 24 hours, which was obviously extremely confronting and scary. And this was basically enough for me over many years to see how brutal the far left is. These people were cheering it on.
Maybe ask them to debate you. I actually could. I could ask them to debate me.
The whole time, everything terrible that happened to me. And eventually I just decided, like, you know, these people are evil and they want me to be dead, and I'm not suicidal, so therefore I am an anti-communist. And that's
That makes so much sense.
how I sort of became really hard line against the far left. It was literally just my a response to my experiences. And of course,
Would you win? If I prepared enough, probably.
really sickened by world events, especially over the past 2 years, like since October 7, seeing how people immediately celebrated that. And it was mostly the same people who I knew, like, supported the Chinese government's actions in Tibet and all these horrible things.
Yeah, I did not support any of that, and I did not support whatever. It's just silly.
The same sorts of tankies. The people like Jackson Hinkle, basically, and
Ah, yeah, Jackson Hinkle, the truly leftist figure. Jackson Hinkle.
the way that they all celebrate October 7, and even just the fact that I had a lot of
The Russian shell.
aggressive friends at university who immediately celebrated it. I mean, I just saw all the atrocities as they took place unfolding live. Like, I was glued to Twitter that entire day. I was watching the imagery that showed Hamas massacring people, etc. Just the piles of there was one image that I'll never forget. It's the piles of elderly people, the piles of corpses outside the bus station in southern Israel when they just drove past the bus station and just massacred a bunch of elderly people.
Yeah, that's
standing next to the bus station.
Yeah, it's all.
So this sort of,
yeah,
sorry, you go, Wick.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's just like, yeah, I understand. Look, when it comes to like being anti-communist, I'm with you, brother. Okay, me too.
Yeah,
But
you're stupid. Wick is just not very whatever. I'm just. Random Free PO says this is just the endpoint of political ideology as personal identity. You go insane, shadow boxing, and ignore the conversation. Yeah.
But I guess I'm curious, right? So I hear you're against all these things, but if I asked you, Drew, what are you for? What would you answer me?
I would say I'm for Western civilization. I like the way.
What the fuck does that even mean? I'm for Western civilization. There's not there has never been a more empty statement ever if I've heard one. I'm for Western civilization. Great, brilliant. A meaningless sentiment if I've ever heard one. Stop starting a sentence and ending with whatever. You know what, Conrad? Whatever. Whatever, Conrad. Western civilization is such a meaningless concept. It encompasses the entirety of Europe with many different cultures, different political prescriptions. It includes the United States. I assume it includes Canada. Does Mexico still fall under the Western civilization umbrella? That is uncalled for. Well, you know, I am being a rude streamer. What does it mean to be for Western civilization? Did it ever count? I have no clue. I have no clue what people individually count as Western civilization and what they don't count as Western civilization. I have no way of knowing which countries are included in the Western civilization umbrella. I would really like some sort of... Is Armenia Western civilization? Good question. I would like to hear some form of elaboration on being pro-Western civilization, because right now, it means nothing.
Life.
What does that mean?
Thank you for asking that.
Our culture, our way of life,
What does that mean, our culture? There's not a single Western culture. There's no such thing. A Mexican culture is quite different from American quote-unquote culture, which is different from Polish, German, it's just our culture. We don't have a single unified culture. That's silly. Or what?
Freedom, the ability, our culture, our way of life, democracy.
Oh, democracy. Okay. Is Hungary part of the Western civilization? Because I would question its democracy and its freedom. So is or is not Hungary a part of the Western civilization? Or is it excluded now from it? Was Poland under law and justice part of the Western civilization? Or was it not? If AfD got into power in Germany, would it still be part of the Western civilization? Or would it suddenly fall off Western civilization? This is just silly. Is Japan Western civilization? Good question. This is such a meaningless term, Western civilization.
Freedom, the ability to choose your own path in life.
Oh, unless, you're born into poverty and have no opportunity.
I love Australia. I love America. I love Europe. I love these countries.
So Europe, Australia, and America, those count as the Western civilization, I guess.
That they've contributed to the world. I love their people. And
yeah, Europe has contributed colonialism to the world. Excellent. Beautiful, thank you.
I just see the fact that people on the far left want to destroy all these things that I love. They want to...
Like what? What are you talking about?
Destroy, the culture of these places. They want to destroy...
What culture? There's no unified culture across the board.
They are very open. They literally say that that they want October 7th for Australia and America, all these so-called settler colonies. Etc. And that's what made me so hardline against them. Like I love Western civilization.
Against who? What does that mean to be? This is meaningless, brainless gibberish.
Western culture, freedom.
What is Western culture?
Democracy, and I see that these people want to destroy it, and I am opposed to them for that. And I want to have a safe, prosperous, peaceful society for people to live in. I want people to be able to raise families and have their own homes. And I look at, for example, Singapore. I think is a really good model. Singapore.
Is Singapore part of the Western civilization, TM?
Where, they have a safe society. It is relatively free. And
relatively free.
Don't have crazy Islamic extremists everywhere. They don't.
Oh, okay, of course. They're the anti-Islam sentiment.
They don't have terrible crime. It's a safe, peaceful, orderly society.
There are many Western countries that have terrible crime.
And people are able to pursue their own ends and have their own families, and it's a beautiful, nice society. That's the type of thing that I look to, and I think I would love to see that more in the West.
Okay, Singapore is an interesting example. I'm not too familiar with like the demographics and the size of it and things like that, but I do worry whenever someone is like, well, we can just take a single culture or a single nation's model and we can extrapolate that into places like Australia or America or Britain or wherever. So like my question, just real quick. Just real quick. My question is, how do we get from where we are now?
You just did it. You just... Lucy, you don't understand. Drew only cares about crime if the perpetrator is brown. Of course. I want to go to Poland. It's in France, right? Yeah, you guessed it.
To this place that you want to be, right? What are some of the major steps that you would advocate for to get from wherever you think we are now in the West to where you think...
What does that mean, where we are in the West? Many different countries within Europe are in totally different places.
we should be.
There's no one place in which Europe as a whole is.
How do we get there?
Yeah, sure. So, I talked a little bit about my foreign policy, what I'm opposed to, and
You did not. You did not speak about foreign policy at all. When did you speak about foreign policy? I have not heard any talk about foreign policy from you at all throughout this talk anyway.
essentially opposed to sort of like third worldist, sort of anti-Western resentment politics, this sort of growing axis of
That's not foreign policy. This is just gibberish.
Russia, Iran. That's what I'm really against at a foreign policy level. When it comes to
What?
That's what I'm really against in politics. This sort of growing axis of China, Russia, Iran. That's what I'm really against at a foreign policy level. When it comes to domestic politics, Tali has probably seen me talk about this a little bit. I talk about something called dark abundance. And essentially the
Dark abundance?
idea is I really like Ezra Klein's vision of abundance, where you are very pro-economic growth, you want widespread prosperity, you want public goods, you want state capacity to achieve public goods, so you want beautiful, clean public transport for everybody that's free. You want to have big infrastructure projects, all these things. I love the abundance vision. Cheap housing so that people can raise their families. All this stuff, of course, that's what I really like at a domestic level. But where I sort of differ more from somebody like, for example, Ezra Klein, is I think they don't take into account the public goods associated with high trust societies that are associated with low crime, high trust societies. And so I think you have to have a basic level of order in a society for it to function. A basic level of peace. You can't have things like, for example, the murder of Erna, that young Ukrainian woman on the train in Charlotte.
Yeah.
So Noah Smith wrote about this. He's a liberal thinker that I like, and Mick Solana as well wrote about this in the.
What are you talking about?
I think essentially the idea is that abundance is a great vision, but you need to take into account things. You need to take into account non-economic goods for non-economic public goods, essentially stuff like high trust, social cohesion.
These are just empty slogans.
A
How do we get
level
that?
of yes. So this is where I think you need to have extremely harsh punishments for crime, really strict punishments for crime.
Like what? Give me you're talking in
for example,
generalities.
yeah.
Yeah, you are talking about in vague slogans, which I don't like that.
Specifics. Okay, someone goes onto a bus. Someone goes onto a bus and starts acting up, acting a fool. They don't hurt anyone, but they're jumping seats or harassing
Cut
people.
off their hand.
What happens to that
Great
person
example.
in your society?
Great example.
Cut off their hand.
I think people like that who are obviously extremely mentally ill, they need to be basically taken care of in mental health care institutions. And obviously the asylum system in the 70s and stuff like that was messed up. That's not what I'm necessarily advocating for. But what I'm saying is
what are you?
It's actually less humane to let extremely mentally ill people sort of like just wander the streets until they either get killed or kill somebody. I think that's actually extremely inhumane. You look at the case of Erna, that man who slaughtered her was pretty obviously extremely mentally
I don't
ill.
know.
And I think it's horrible that he was just allowed to basically roam the streets. And it's dangerous for society, and it's also even dangerous for the extremely mentally ill people themselves, because they can also be the victim of crime, and they can also, I mean, look at for example the case of Daniel Penny. I think it's sad that the guy died, and the reason why that guy died was because he was an extremely mentally ill person, sort of just roaming around the streets. He wasn't really able to actually look after himself. He wasn't actually really able to live in society in a safe way. It's not safe for the public. It's also not safe for these guys as well, because they can also be victims of crime when you're extremely mentally ill and you're not able to really look after yourself. So I think you need to rebuild the mental health care systems in Western countries. It seems to be the case that America really needs to basically consider.
But I thought the Western civilization was doing great.
somehow, like, when there are people who are just extremely mentally ill roaming the streets, they can't just be basically allowed to be homeless and just wandering around, either killing people or being killed themselves. They have to basically be in care. And like the guy who killed Erna, realistically, if 5 years ago he had been put into a care place and he was just put on medication and given a bunch of coloring books,
Sure.
he's not going to have killed somebody in cold blood. He's also probably not going to face the death penalty for what he's done. So I think when you have crazy people just roaming the streets, you just can't have that. My mum, so as you know, my brother lives in America. I think he's married to an American citizen or something like that. You know, he's lived there for a couple of years now, and
Okay.
legally migrated the right way and everything. My mum goes over to visit him sometimes for a holiday. She was in Wall Street. I think it was like October last year. She literally went to Wall Street, which is of course like a really famous tourist area of New York City. You would think it's pretty safe. My mum from Australia, and it's funny, my mum's like a conservative. She's like a big Trump supporter and everything. And she was
Okay.
sort of aghast at just like how the sort of mental health care system works in America, where it is obviously
It's hard.
a pretty dog-eat-dog society in a way.
Yeah.
Like, my mum's pretty conservative, but she thinks that America's potentially too dog-eat-dog. Like, I remember when I went to New York City a couple of years ago, like, the inequalities are quite extreme.
But I thought Western civilization was the best civilization, and I thought it was just a one unified culture.
And when she was on Wall Street with her partner, she was actually like a mentally ill homeless guy jumped out and started jacking off in front of her. And like, that's my mum, who's gone to America to visit her son as a tourist, and she loves America.
It's inappropriate. Yeah, I understand. I get it.
And so this stuff is real. And basically all my friends who live in America have so many stories like this. My brother has stories like this where it's pretty unsafe sometimes on the train. I've got I'm friends with Shark Zadeh, who's like a really funny, interesting Muslim thinker in New York City, and even he's like,
Those awful homeless people.
yeah, you just can't have these insane mentally ill people walking around on the streets lighting people on fire.
Yeah, I get it.
He hates chaos.
Yes.
And yeah, so that's what I'd say. You need a proper mental health care system.
Proper mental health care system.
Get people off the street. You need to lower migration in a range of Western countries. I think.
Why? Why do you need to lower migration?
Hold on, one at a time. One at a time, because we'll deal with the mental
by the way,
health.
let me just 1 second. I just need to make sure that my stream's working. So give me 1 second. Sorry.
Oh my God.
I think
Tolly. Okay, go ahead, Tolly, because otherwise, okay, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay. I think well, people are just like really triggered by him and what he has to say. But there are people in the chat saying like, oh, okay, so we should just like put homeless people in camps. We should just lock them all up. And yes, literally, if you are out on the streets and you are mentally ill and living in your own filth, yes, you either consent to go to a mental hospital or you go to jail. It can't come at the expense of everyone else living in that society, making it unsafe for them. And it's the lie that it is somehow more dignified as long as you have choice, right? As long it's like this, it's like a fetish for consent. Like, well, if the person doesn't consent, then the most dignified thing that we can do is like let them
fetish
have
for consent. What happened to the land of the free? Interesting. Suddenly consent is becoming less and less of a consideration, huh? Interesting.
their agency, and that it's somehow more dignified to live in filth on the street screaming at people on the corners than it is to be institutionalized in a mental hospital. So I think people do need to take this stuff more seriously, and it does feed into
What caused those people to be out on the street to begin with? Can we discuss that maybe? Or do we not give a fuck? I guess. I thought that the brilliance of Western civilization shone bright and that it was the best. Then how does it produce so many crazy people on the streets that are homeless? Like, please explain it to me. Please walk me through it, because I'm having troubles. I'm struggling to understand.
low trust that we have in our society, and petty crimes are bad for the economy, they're bad for business. All of these things really do interplay with each other, and I think there are just so many people who just don't take this stuff seriously, and they do so at their own demise. Like, this is part of the, for all the people who are so concerned about Trump and the Republicans and what they see as a reactionary backlash. Well, you feed that if you insist that it is somehow more dignified and better for cities like New York to have people, living in their piss on the subway than living in a hospital
Yeah,
bed.
I don't disagree entirely with the premise that there needs to be a more robust system for mental health and dealing with those who.
Jack Don't Do It says we don't give a fuck because they're not our problem. Oh, okay. The US does not care about its citizens. Get it? I get it. Okay, understood. Understood, Jack Don't Do It. The United States of America does not care about Americans. Thank you. I think I never looked at it that way, but you've explained it to me quite clearly. Thank you.
Who are suffering from mental illness in America. My concern, however, is that we have an administration that is right now looking to classify all trans people as too mentally ill to own a gun. So if we have a system in place, if we craft a system where they can involuntarily commit you for having mental illness, and then they start to classify certain groups as mentally ill, like soldiers with PTSD, right? Or other things. I think that you are correct in that there needs to be a system in place, but I do wonder, how do we prevent the government from overreaching, right? And using this system, whatever system we may put in place, to really just kind of classify their enemies as mentally ill and then dealing with it accordingly.
Yeah, look, obviously I would be against that. I don't want to see that happen. I think America does have a lot of safeguards in place because it is a democracy. Obviously, I'm not talking about political opponents being committed involuntarily. I don't want that to happen at all.
Trans people are not political opponents. What the fuck does that mean? Trans people are not like what? Why would you classify an entire minority group as political opponents? That's not the point. It's not a point of political opponents being institutionalized. It's a point about a minority being persecuted. It's a completely different thing. Why would you talk about political opponents when talking about trans people?
I'm talking instead about like people, like for example, the guy who killed Erna, or for example, the guy who lit that woman on fire on the New York City subway.
Yeah, but no one disagrees with you, right? No one disagrees with you that those people should have been in some sort of care facility. The question is, and
That's
why
what
it's
we're
hard,
talking about.
Yeah, but why it's hard to kind of craft these systems is it's in the places where we disagree, right? The places where
I'm sure it is
it's
hard
harder to determine whether or not someone's actually a danger to themselves and others. That
Well, we have these independent bodies that are accredited, right? And the APA is very, very far from perfect. But yes, I agree that whoever's in power at that moment, whichever administration is in power, should not be able to point at groups of people that they dislike or distrust or something and say these people are inherently more dangerous. But we can look at what, like, so I agree with you, Wick. I don't want trans people to be barred from having guns at all. I think that's ridiculous. Most people would agree that people who are schizophrenic should.
Well, now it's not just about trans people not owning guns. Now it's about trans people being designated as terrorists. So
Have access to guns. Like we are able to draw a line somewhere. And it's like, trans people are not too mentally ill to own a gun, and
too mentally ill.
Being trans, it is recognized as a mental disorder. That's how people get the qualification to.
A mental disorder is not the same thing as a mental illness. Having a mental disorder is not the same thing as being mentally ill. Oh, thank you, lady. Jesus Christ Almighty.
treatment and to transition, right? As they get diagnosed with gender dysphoria.
Yeah,
And
that's
yes,
not the same thing as being mentally ill.
you're right, Wick. Like there, you could have a nefarious actor who could try to make a bunch of these things, exclude people on a bunch of these different bases. But we that's how all of our like that's how our democracy works, right? We have subcommittees of supposed to be experts and stuff who bring their knowledge to bear. So I like yes, it will be difficult. And that's not a reason to not act, right? Like the two choices can't be we're afraid that we'll lock up everyone, so instead people just live in their filth on the streets.
Yeah, and I would
Go
say
ahead.
like this is essentially the entire project of democratic politics, which is balancing the public good against individual freedoms. And I think it's very legitimate in a democracy to have these debates and to work out the right way to go about it. I'm somebody who does love individual freedom, but I don't think that the individual freedom for crazy people to just like
And yes, dysphoria is not even required to be trans. That is true.
in the subway committing crimes and doing terrible stuff. I think that should not supplant the public good of safety and a decent level of public order. And so I'm really I've become a bit more conservative in recent months, but there are different strands of
Yeah.
conservatism, right? And you had for a long time this sort of Reaganite Thatcher type model. And the Thatcher model was essentially, she literally said, there is no such thing as society. And that's something I'm really against. I'm not in any way a kind of like extremist libertarian. I'm actually more of a communitarian because I did come from the left, right? And so I
Oh my
think things
God.
like I care about public goods. I care about I care about
Oh,
society
okay.
as a whole.
I see.
I care about, the good of the
Interesting.
community. And that I think is supposed to be the best part of the left.
Should the good of the community, though, outweigh the freedom of the individual to make a choice? Let's talk about not so much mental institutions, but let's talk about something else. Just real quick, please. One of the things that happened recently is we had the firing of Jimmy Kimmel from ABC, from his Tonight Show or live show, or I forget exactly what the name of the show was. I never really watched it. He's a boring guy. Many are saying that Kimmel should not have been allowed to say what he said on live television because it...
I disagree with that.
Yeah, you disagree with that? You think that he should have been allowed to say it? Go ahead.
Look, I do find what he said offensive. I dislike what he said. And I'm against what he said, but I don't think that the government should be involved in the decision at all. I don't like that the Federal Communications Commission pressured the network, the FCC. I think that's really wrong. Funnily enough, Brendan Carr, the FCC guy, like 3 years ago, followed me for like a week and then unfollowed me because I was anti-Trump at the time. But
Are
I
you
think
not anti-Trump now?
FCC intervened and made that decision.
Is Drew pro-Trump
the funny
now?
thing is, you actually look at the ratings of these late night TV shows, and they've actually been cratering for a couple years now. And I mean, I don't really even I never really watched them. I don't really like them. I think the only one I ever really liked is who's the British guy again?
John Oliver?
Yeah, I like John Oliver.
Yeah,
I
he's
always
funny.
thought that John Oliver was funny. I didn't really like the others. Never really liked Jimmy Kimmel. I think what he said was offensive and stupid, and I found it offensive. But I don't think that
what
the
was the
FCC should
offensive
actually
part
be
of
involved.
it to you?
Well, he said that the shooter was MAGA, which is a lie. He wasn't a MAGA shooter, and I think that is
I don't think he
offensive and-
said that. He said that
He did say that straight
MAGA.
up. He did
Well,
say that straight up.
well, the quote.
He said
actually.
MAGA. He said it. He said MAGA. What was the quote again? It was something like MAGA said it was one of ours, but it was actually one of theirs, or something like that.
No. So Tali, if you're talking, we can't hear you.
He said that MAGA spent the time right after the assassination trying to prove that he wasn't one of theirs. It was something
yeah,
like that. Which
which
again, I
is
think
a
there's different
different
ways
thing,
to parse
though.
that statement.
He said MAGA. Said MAGA was one of theirs.
He's right. He said MAGA was trying to prove that this guy wasn't one of theirs, which leaves open the implication that yes, in fact, this guy was one of theirs, aka MAGA.
I've got the exact quote.
I think
Let
it
me-
takes a
let me
lot of.
find it.
Yeah,
I think it takes a lot of parsing. It takes a
It
lot
does.
of parsing.
Look,
to give a
I
generous
disagree on this.
reading
I
to
don't
what
think
he
it takes a lot of
said.
parsing. I think that the people want to read into it something that's not there. He said
I think it's the complete opposite. I think the people who want to defend him have to read into it further to make it like a more again, and he shouldn't be fired for it. And there are a lot of people who aren't convinced that this guy was left wing at all. Like he might just firmly believe that this guy is probably MAGA or MAGA adjacent or whatever. But I think it takes more reading into it to say like, well, no, he's not actually saying it's MAGA. He's just saying that MAGA really desperately doesn't want
I'll
the guy
read
to
it
be
out.
MAGA.
I'll just
He
read it
doesn't
out.
go. He doesn't.
I'll just read it out. We hit some new lows over the weekend, with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them, and doing everything they can to score political points from it. That's a true statement.
My reading of that is that he's essentially saying that it was one of MAGA's. That's how I've read the statement.
I understand, and a lot of people have, but what I read the statement is that MAGA was doing what every single other group at that time was doing. They were desperately trying to point at.
I didn't say that. He could have said that though, Wick, which is again.
Okay, you got to use. Hold on. You can't just take those, Tali. You can't just take those 3 words and ignore all the words around it. You have to take the entire quote in context.
I'm accepting all of the words, but you just said like you what you just added would be more true. That everyone, in the aftermath. And by the way, this is how like all mass shootings and terrorist
all
attacks
tragedies
happen,
are
right?
now a
You have the
game,
trans community.
unfortunately.
Whenever this stuff happens, whenever there's a shooting, especially lately, right, with all of the hysteria around trans people, you have trans people coming out saying, "I hope this shooter wasn't trans." You have Muslims saying, "I hope this shooter wasn't Muslim."
No,
So
I
this
did
is like
not.
a
No, I did
common
not.
enough, event, right?
I
People
did
are
not
hoping
say any of these things. Actually, I did not.
that it's not part of their group or whatever that was responsible.
Yeah, I did not say that. So whatever. Stupid.
for this, even though the group wouldn't be
I'm
responsible.
going back to saying whatever because this is just silly. I did not do that. When I covered the event, I said we did not know, and we still do not know, by the way.
For an individual's actions, but what you added words that would make it more accurate, more palatable, whatever. Like, yes, everyone right after Charlie Kirk was assassinated, before anyone looked for the killer, they were focused on trying to prove how the killer wasn't one of theirs. But when he just says that about MAGA, he leaves the inference wide open that this kid was in fact MAGA. And again, that shouldn't get him fired unless ABC decided to fire him for that.
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree with you that it shouldn't get him fired, but I disagree with you that that's what he meant. Like, I think you have to be primed to believe that's what he meant. I think you have to actually be primed.
I don't think so. Look,
I disagree with you, Wick.
I know you disagree.
When I saw it, the first thing I saw it and I thought he's blaming MAGA for the shooting. I think a lot of people, probably millions of people, saw it that way. That I found it offensive. That said, as I said previously, I don't think he should have been fired. The FCC should have had no role in the decision. I don't want a society where the government can decide TV licenses and stuff like that based on what they are programming. I think that's wrong.
So do you think so I've seen you say and you can correct me if I'm misinterpreting because I might be. I see you say that you are going more to the right than you have before lately. Can you describe what you mean by that? When you say you're going more to the right, what do you mean?
Yeah, sure. It's not necessarily that I support Trump. I wouldn't describe myself as a MAGA at all. I've been very critical of Trump in the past. So I don't describe myself as a Trump guy. And I don't even think I would necessarily vote for the Republicans, which is of course theoretical because I'm Australian anyway. But just in general, I think I've become more of a philosophical conservative, just in the sense that
What the hell does that mean? A philosophical conservative. It's also, again, that's a meaningless statement. A philosophical conservative. I hate these slogans so much. I hate the sloganeering.
Growing distaste and disgust for just the reality is it is massive sections of the left, which, October 7th, there was immediate celebrations in the streets, and there was immediate gloating, like this is what it means to have decolonization. And we've seen that for 2+ years now with people like Hassan Piker who've just basically been gloating and cheering the whole time about it. And then you have horrific incidents of crime like the Erna thing, and immediately you saw Van Jones on CNN say, "Oh well, hurt people. Really, we should consider why this guy was hurting so bad that he just decided to slaughter someone on the train." And I just think that is such I think it's just indicative of this really strange mindset where a terrible crime takes place, and for some reason, liberals and leftists, the immediate sort of mental gymnastics that take place is we should consider the empathetic perspective of the perpetrator, and I just can't understand that. I think
imagine thinking how the society that we live in created the people that commit crimes and how we can prevent it in the future. Imagine thinking of these things in these terms of prevention rather than punishment. It's so stupid. So the leftists are so silly of trying to figure out what happened that led to this result. That is such an insane thing to do, isn't it? Instead of jumping for blood and immediate punishment, people think of what has transpired that led to this situation. This so silly, so silly. Really, it will radicalize you to the right, won't it?
So wrong. Like when I see the murder of Erna, never in a million years would I think, oh, I wonder whether the guy who killed her was hurting really badly that day. I just don't care whether he was hurting. Again, I think he should have been in a mental institution or something like that. But it's just this really weird, strange mental gymnastics that takes place where the empathy somehow always seems to come on the part of the perpetrator. I was the victim of crime in June where my car got broken into, people stole my wallet. And I posted about this online. I was so upset about it because it wasn't just they took my bank cards and they took $1,000 off my bank cards. It wasn't just the money though. It was the fact that I had in my wallet like notes from a departed family member that I saved with me because it was really important to me sentimentally. So that losing the wallet, the $1,000 didn't even really mean much to me. It was losing that sentimental link that I had to a departed family member, which kills me, right? And I was so upset. I was so you feel a great sense of violation when your car's been broken into, someone steals your wallet like that, and you lose essentially something that was really important to you. Like part of it is so frustrating, right? Like I wouldn't care. Take the fucking wallet. Take the fucking money.
Yeah, it hurts. It's a violation.
Leave the fucking notes, right?
I get it.
So what killed me in the aftermath of that was straight away, and it wasn't just one person, it wasn't just two people, it was literally like hundreds of leftists who they either gloated because they're like, oh, we fucking hate Drew because he's against tank, he's against. There were heaps of Hassan Piker fans, for example, who were like, oh, this is awesome, I'm so glad.
Okay, I do not gloat when people get robbed, just so you know. Just so it's clear, I do not gloat when people's wallets get stolen or when people the ever-present lefties, the demonic lefties that gloat when people break into other people's cars.
I'm so glad this happened to Drew. And then there were also just a lot of people who were like, oh, well, consider it from the perspective of maybe the guy who did this was really poor and they really needed your wallet. And
what is the percentage of leftists, right? Whatever you think of as leftists, that you think engage in this behavior? If you have to get it, like, guess. I understand we don't
99%. No, 100%.
Don't have like a scientific poll.
Very, look, it's. I don't think it would be helpful for me to guess, but what I would
no,
say
because this is important, and the reason I'm asking you, right? Just real quick.
I would say that it is, from my own personal experience, it is distressingly mainstream to the point that you literally have Van Jones, who is one of the most famous liberal talking heads in America on CNN, who his first reaction to the Erna killing was to go, well, we need to consider hurt people. It's like, no, not at all. Like there's no conceivable dimension of the universe.
This is where we're going to disagree. This is where we're going to disagree again, because I don't think that it is a significant portion of the left, quote unquote, that engages in this behavior. I think that there are a worryingly, it's larger than I would like, by all means, right? That the left engages in this. But like, I think what you're doing here is people are being mean to you online, and you are using that to drive your view of the world. And I promise you, outside of that...
But it's so easy. It's so okay. Here's the thing, though, right? Like, it's so easy to just go, oh, you know, they're just a bunch of people being mean to you online. But you have to consider my perspective, right, man? I've literally been swatted, like to the point that I was literally held incommunicado in a prison cell for 24 hours without any access to the lawyers, no access to the Australian High Commissioner, like the embassy in London. I was literally held as a terror suspect for 24 hours because I was swatted by one of these far left people. I've had literally a campaign of death threats against me for 5+ years since I was 19 years old. You know that, and then and I've experienced that for 5+ years, right? Because of my opinions, because I spoke in the world, and then I see the reality is it was hundreds of thousands of people, millions of people, immediately celebrating the
Millions
murder
of
of
people.
somebody who was just a political commentator.
People
And
keep
from my
saying
perspective,
millions. It was not
but it was
millions.
Millions of people.
millions. It was reality. It was realistically it was millions because you could go onto TikTok, you could go onto Twitter, you could go onto every single major social media platform, and there were just like my feed was covered in these posts, and it was
Millions of posts.
hundreds of thousands of likes, and it wasn't.
This
Here's as
is
well.
the
Here's
problem.
another thing as well. You can
What? It just that doesn't mean anything. Millions of people cheer. This person is a silly goober.
you can say this as well. You might go, oh well, they're just China and Russian bots. But why is it the case that I logged onto Instagram that day, right? And there were at least like 10, 15 progressive kids that I went to university with that I would have been friends with 4 or 5 years ago who had as their Instagram stories, oh, this is actually justified. This is actually good.
15 is not
and this is the
millions.
reality, right? Like people are responding to the actual reality around them. And it's the fact that there are people that I shared a classroom with who I called friends, people I've sat down with, had dinner
Yeah,
with.
15 people are not millions. What's happening?
People I've literally hung out with for hours and hours and hours.
Oh my God.
That maybe I've lost contact with them for a couple of years, and then I just suddenly see them cheering on the brutal, cold-blooded murder in broad daylight of a political commentator. And I'm somebody who's had death threats against me for 5-6 years. So how is this stuff not supposed to affect you, right? I don't accept this assumption where people go, oh well, it's just a bunch of people being mean online. Like it's actually a response to reality, right? And it's like I feel like it's like the 60s all over again, right? There was a conservative backlash to the far left in the 60s, people who would go out and do the Viet Cong chants, and there were literally thousands of bombings by far left groups around America over, and there are riots, all this stuff, and people hate this stuff. The reality is normal people hate this stuff. They want to have
Normal people do.
Peace and
Yeah, you're correct. Normal.
Yeah.
And Tali, if you're talking, we can't hear you again. I don't know what the dealio is. Oh no.
This is so stupid.
Can you hear me now?
I'm
Yes,
gonna
there
listen
you
to
go.
this some more, and then I'm gonna raid you to
before
somebody.
go, I'm gonna give you the mic in a second, right? But I think that, and this happens to a lot of people. It's not just you, Drew. This is what's kind of driving a wedge between us as people, is we are fed by the algorithms to see the most extreme takes that we possibly can. So the normal takes, they don't get traction. But I would posit to you that 90% of people out there on the left and the right were horrified at Kirk's death. They did not celebrate it.
Two things, right? Like
Mhm.
one, I understand the argument that this is just the algorithm feeding extreme content, but that doesn't explain why there are like literally more than 10 progressive kids that I went to university with that I was friends with for years, who they're instinctual
again,
reaction was
10 is not millions. I don't care about this anecdote. I just don't care about it.
celebrate. It doesn't explain that. These are people I know in real life who instinctually celebrate it.
That's
And
great.
secondly-
I don't care. I really don't about your buddies.
It doesn't explain why, like AOC literally yesterday was right up there in Congress. She immediately was giving a speech basically denouncing the legacy of Charlie Kirk, basically saying, oh, he's an evil person, all this sort of stuff. And it's like,
Hold on,
here's
you can say that? That's not celebrating the murder.
Okay.
It is not. Criticizing Charlie Kirk for who he was is not celebrating the death. That is a silly thing to say. I'm sorry. Like, I'm not gonna pretend that Charlie Kirk was not who he was. Yeah, he got murdered, but he still was who he was when he lived.
That's not justifying the murder. That's not condoning the murder. And the fact that you're lumping in AOC with the people you were saying are celebrating the murder, that's the problem.
Okay,
That's
let
the
me respond
problem,
to that.
right?
I'm not saying that she's necessarily celebrating the murder, but this is the hypocrisy that I want to call out, right?
But you
What hypocrisy? There's no hypocrisy there.
You were just talking about the people you saw in your life who celebrated the murder, and you went into AOC as if they were the same.
Okay, but let me explain what I mean by AOC, right? Again, I know that she formally condemned the murder, but this is what I'm trying to point out. So when this happened, right? if you go back 5 years when George Floyd was killed, and again, it was a horrible killing, he should never have died. But when George Floyd was killed, you didn't see AOC immediately get up in Congress and deliver a speech like, guys, we need to consider the fact that he had all these previous convictions and that he had held a gun against a woman's stomach and almost killed somebody in a home invasion. Nobody did that, right? So
Because he wasn't a political public figure.
What do you mean nobody did that? Everybody did that. Charlie Kirk did that. There's a literal Charlie Kirk quote when he says that he will add nuance to the George Floyd conversation by saying that he was a scumbag or something like that.
Kirk was for years.
But you can say that.
There's a
but
difference.
There was also no, but dude, it's
All the right-wing pundits did that.
not simply the
First
fact
of
that
all,
I've seen people make that take where they said, "Oh, well, it was just actually."
you know, the difference between this and that, by the way, which is an interesting thing to compare. This is an interesting thing to compare, because when extremist right-winger people said George Floyd was a convicted felon, he was convicted, they say, therefore, he deserved what happened to him. Okay? And nobody says that about Charlie Kirk. I'm not saying that about Charlie Kirk. I'm not saying he was this or that, therefore what happened to him was justified. I'm saying it wasn't, but I'm not gonna pretend that he was not what he was. There's a big difference there. There's a categorical difference there. I can condemn what happened while still criticizing Charlie Kirk as a person.
Objecting to his killing, we weren't actually venerating him. But
Wait,
there was
hold on.
veneration
Wait,
of-
Drew.
there were public
Drew, we
murals.
can just
So this is just nonsensical drivel again.
we can answer this quickly. Quick. When George Floyd was killed, okay, and you had people immediately coming out and saying, or when anyone gets, when there's a black man killed or there's someone killed, right, in a famous thing and it's caught on camera, and people immediately go out and look for that person's criminal history, right? And then you have people who immediately come out and say, this guy had all of these different crimes. He was arrested here, here, and there. He was a threat to society. Why are those people saying that?
Because they're trying to justify the murder.
Depends. A lot of them will say things like, yes, he should have never been in this situation if the criminal justice system had been doing its job.
And there's a big difference between saying, yeah, he was murdered, but have you considered his criminal record? And saying, I disagree with what happened, but I'm not going to pretend that I'm not going to stop criticizing Charlie Kirk because of it. There's a big, if you do not see the difference between these two statements, then I don't know what to tell you. I just don't know. In fact, if instead of saying, hey, George Floyd might have been killed, but look at the criminal record, does that mean something? Does that mean that maybe instead, if people said, it was horrible that George Floyd was killed, but I'm not gonna not criticize the thing that he did when he was alive, that would have been different still, wouldn't it? And yet that was not how people approached it when they discussed the George Floyd being...
He would never have died. There are people who are doing it like that. That's fine to do. That's a fine argument to make. There's nothing condemnable about that.
Why are the
but there are other people who are doing it who are saying, and that's why I'm glad he's dead. But here's the thing. Those people will say that 90% of the time. They will say, and that's why he deserved it. AOC did not do this. Many on the left are not doing this. They are saying political violence
because there are many
is
on
never
the
okay.
left who are not that crude. They are not as crude as some of the people on the right who would speak like that. And this is so. Listen, I think
there you go. Mask off. Oh, we think like that. Therefore, surely the people on the left think like that as well. They're just not as honest as us. Of course, that's gonna be the line.
a lot of things that are getting lumped together. And like, I don't know if I'm going to put AOC in the same category. And by the way, I think a lot of
This is so pathetic. This is so stupid.
There's so much plausible deniability that it's like, it's nothing that we can like, it's not a, they're not committing an offense by doing this, but you had people after the embassy workers shooting who came out and said, of course they should not have been shot, but No, they did work for the genocidal Zionist regime. And, they were there getting together, planning on how they could block aid from getting into Gaza. Violence is never the answer. They should not have been shut. We need gun restrictions now, right? You can say all those things. And when the other half of your butt, you are giving a rationalization, even if that's not the purpose. And like you said,
Nope. No, you're not. This is stupid.
but there are people with multiple purposes, right? There are some people in the George Floyd case, right, who are just trying to say, look at all of the failures of the system leading up to this. There's some people in the Charlie Kirk case who are saying, well, I don't want to whitewash or sanitize this, right? But there are other people who are saying, well, yeah, he was kind of a piece of shit, so whatever, I don't really care. Like,
A lot of people like that.
I'm not,
A piece of people like that.
yeah, like yes. And I think too, like, you can say that it's a tiny portion of people who are celebrating, and we can put Charlie Kirk even like to the side, because especially when Charlie Kirk said a lot of inflammatory things that were going to upset a lot of people. That's sort of undeniable. But even when we think back to the Luigi Mangione shooting, there was that I didn't think I could be really shocked anymore, but I was shocked by how many normal people
But when you
just
saw
like,
the polling
well,
on it, and this is the thing, this is exactly, thank you for bringing up Luigi Mangione, because when you saw the polling of this, it was like very, very small percentage of people who were actually okay with it. Okay, so we're being shown this 5% of the public, and we're assuming it's 50%, and that's the issue I'm having. Anyway,
fine, but again, but first of all, it doesn't need to be critical mass for it to be a problem. It doesn't need to be 51% for it to be a problem. And again, to Drew's point, it's not just
how many people does it have to be for it to be a problem? I guess I'll ask.
the crazy people online. It's not just the, borderline personality TikTokers. It is random people that you went to high school with and middle school with and college with, posting these like nihilistic, super snide remarks on social media. And again, even if they're not saying, well, I'm glad he's dead or he deserved it, they are leaning into the political messaging of, well, maybe now we'll finally have a conversation about healthcare in America. Like, that is a rationalization of the violent murder against Brian Thompson. And again, I don't think any one of those individuals saying these things are inherently evil. And I don't think that they should be culpable for any crime. They're not responsible for the murder. I don't think that they're trying to encourage it in the future. But we had conversations about like stochastic terrorism and stuff, and the way that people rationalize these horrible events. And
of course.
Again, I get defensive because people make the exact
Yeah,
same
why would we look into the causes of anything when we can just brainlessly punish and think and pray that it won't happen again? This is short-sighted. I'm just gonna use the term short-sighted. I'm gonna be gentle and I'm gonna say that it's short-sighted not to care about any deeper reasons of why such events happen. But whatever.
About me, like, oh yeah, Tali only changed her political views because people online were mean to her. And then I say the same thing as Drew. Well, no, actually, it wasn't people online, right? It was people in my real life. It was the people around me, my peers, my cohort. And it's not, and not everyone is as crazy as the most extreme fringe far left people, but a lot of more normal people have
Who are these fringe left people that you speak of?
Absorbed a lot of this. And it's easy to say, Wick, hold on. It's easy to say, well, it's easy to say, like, this is not everyone, you're painting with too broad a brush, that's fine.
No, I would just say that it's silly to condemn people for wanting to investigate things at a more deeper than a puddle deep level. Oh, person did X, so let's punish them and forget about it. Let's not even think about how and what circumstances led them to it. Because who cares about prevention, right? Prevention is shit. Let's just go with punishment and let's pray to God Almighty that this sort of thing never happens again. Brilliant. That's the policy that we really need. Not just in America, but in the world.
It's not just easy, it's correct to say this. It's correct.
Okay, sure.
It's
but
just
the problem,
true.
Sure, but
and the problem is, when we point out, like, Elon Musk did this, and
Zero introspection. People are so stupid.
And it was very inappropriate when he would say things like, "We need to fight back. The left wants to kill you." Right? When they say things like, "When the other side wants you dead, we can't live with these people anymore." They're taking, again, a 1% problem and making it a 20% problem or a 50% problem. And we need to get back to reality, gang. We need to stop letting these rage baits bait us. And
We could even say we need this for Western civilization.
that's anyway, Drew, you want to go? But that's what we're going to talk about next.
So
Rage
this is-
baiting.
this
Go
is-
ahead.
This is the problem, right? It is 20%. The reality is it is about 20%. So let me explain that figure. There's maybe a
huge
hardcore,
number.
Yeah,
Huge number.
Huge number that I took straight out of my ass. Huge.
So there's maybe a hardcore, right? There's a hardcore of 4 or 5% who will literally outright go, "I'm glad that he's dead. Look at the blood coming out of his neck. It's awesome." Like those people who literally posted straight up like cartoons like of just Charlie Kirk with blood shooting out of his neck. That's 5%, right? But the problem is that there is now. This is where I got so up. This is what drove me away from the left. There is the tankies, the far left, right? It's 5%, but then there are too many people in the center left who've basically been infected by them or make excuses for them. And I'll give you an example, right? Like somebody like Pisco. Pisco is not a tanky, but he's someone who like literally was saying to Destiny, "Oh, bro, like if the choice is between Hassan Piker or Trump, I'm choosing Hassan Piker." And it's like, no, dude, Hassan Piker literally wants to basically kill Tyler because she's Jewish. So I'm never in a million years ever like working with
Okay,
Tyler,
please
Hassan
please
Piker.
don't take people answering a hypothetical that's meant to be extreme and insane as a indicative of their actual positions on things. I have problems with
this is what I
Pisco
mean,
too.
though.
I get it. Look, Pisco can be a lot, right? I like him a lot of times. I don't like him a lot of other times, right? We go the rounds.
He's a very
But-
annoying guy. Very annoying
Right.
guy.
But at the
I'm just gonna let that hang, I guess.
end of the day, like this is an extreme hypothetical meant to illustrate like a point, but don't take him like it's
But I'll explain
it's a
this
hard
more, though. I'll
decision,
explain this-
right?
Yeah, but okay, but people like Peace
But
Corps,
hold on,
they
and
say
just
these
real quick,
people-
this
these
20% number you said, you just pulled it out your ass, man.
No, because
That is true. He did.
Just pulled it out your ass.
You're asking me to estimate. This
Yeah.
is based on my own personal experience. Maybe the tankies are like 5% of the left, but the problem is that there are too many people on the center left who are basically
Okay,
like,
whatever. I'm done. So I guess I'll rate you. I'll do the rest of the topics some other time. I'm tired. I have to do things, and we've covered a few nice things today, and it's all good. It's all wonderful, and I'm gonna rate you to Kid Not Kin. It's been fun. I'll see you soon. Lots of love, lots of beautiful things. I will see you. It has been fun. Bye bye. Viva la Western civilization, I guess. See you. Yes. Bye. Bye bye.